Coverage of this winter weather alert continues now. Look at this. Live in Troup County, this is LaGrange, where the snow has been coming down. It is sticking to the roads. Picturesque, quiet right now. So this is why, if you don't have to leave wherever you are, please stay put. You can see the cars making the corner right there right now with the lights on. Hopefully they get wherever they're going safely.
Moving very slowly. And this is Stone Mountain in DeKalb County. Look at the snow-capped mountain. You can barely tell what that is. The trees there. Yeah, you need to be careful. Severe Weather Team 2 warned you this was coming.
It doesn't look like we're used to seeing Stone Mountain. Meteorologist Brian Monahan live in Severe Weather Center 2, timing out what will happen over the next few hours for all of us, Brian.
And in Troup County right there, you saw the way to drive in this. If you've got to be out there, that nice, slow, easy turn. Don't accelerate too fast. And again, certainly don't slam on those brakes with icy roads out there, now snow-covered roads. And as that gets compacted again against this cold pavement, that's really going to cause some slick spots out there. Best bet, if you're at home, stay at home as we watch this snow come on down. Chief Meteorologist Brad Nitz showing us some of these cameras here now live. This is the view out at the airport, the gray sky, the snow-covered pavement there out at the airport. There's our Midtown camera where Peachtree Street partially snow-covered. Also, some of our side streets in Midtown and downtown. And a live view now, Grady Hospital curve. Now, the main travel lanes look like they're in pretty good shape, but as you go over to the shoulders and some of those exit ramps, notice those are now partially snow-covered. Same story up in Cobb County live view right now. Cobb Cloverleaf, partially snow-covered there. That thin layer of snow, again, potentially significant problems. That's why a lot of businesses, a lot of schools just didn't go to school today. And the reason for that, just do not want everybody out on the road at the same time as we see this snow coming down. Now, here's Live Storm Tracker 2 HD radar. As we were telling you this morning, telling you really through the last couple of days, really sharp cutoff between where we're just seeing some passing flurries, no real accumulation, and then you get into the snow. And this is where we have that snow starting to cover the ground, certainly sticking around Metro Atlanta, basically near just to the north and west of 85 and then down toward the south side where we're seeing that accumulating snow happening right now. So here's our snow timeline through the evening, through tomorrow morning. Through 7 o'clock, late snow and flurries, accumulations in Metro Atlanta. Some heavier amounts down on the south side with 1 to 2 inches possible there. Between 7 and 11 o'clock, late snow tapers off to just a few passing flurries. It clears out, falling temperatures. And what falls is going to lock up. It's going to freeze overnight. And travel is going to be very difficult where it's snowing right now first thing tomorrow morning. We'll have much more on that. Your full updated forecast, another update on our snow timeline straight ahead at 4 o'clock.
Brian, thank you. And you are watching Channel 2 Action News at 4. Right now, a plumbing company in Cobb County is preparing to respond to frozen pipe calls. Channel 2 Cobb County Bureau Chief Michelle Newell continues our live Severe Weather Team 2 coverage in Marietta with what you can do to prevent a potential disaster in your house.
These companies are not only preparing, they're urging homeowners to take preventative measures. This is pipe insulation. Lots of homeowners buying this, but the plumbing company I spoke with told me these won't work if those homeowners miss a really important step.
The wind is really one of the biggest factors for freeze breaks.
A few simple steps can prevent a disaster in your home when extremely cold weather moves in.
I want to get the water running here just a little bit.
David Cunningham is a service manager for Superior Plumbing. He's showing us how simple it is to prevent pipes from freezing.
The key piece is making sure you get it on the hot and the cold. Okay, you want water moving through both of those sets of pipes. So very important to have those.
Open the cabinets below to allow warm air to circulate.
Shut off the valves that go to your exterior hose bibs. That'll isolate those lines, and that way if there are any freeze breaks in those lines, you won't have a continuous leak.
One thing you shouldn't do if you have a garage.
If you leave those garage doors open, especially on those really windy days, that wind will get in there and drop that temperature enough that you'll create a freeze break.
If you don't winterize your home and are left with burst pipes, leave it up to the professionals to fix. Cunningham says he and his team are prepared to respond.
We've got these here in case we need to install or replace one. We like to use the PEX piping. It will allow for a little bit of expansion if it does get cold and the water inside of it does try to freeze.
Reporting from Cobb County, I'm Michelle Newell.
And some homes and businesses in Metro Atlanta have already had trouble with those frozen pipes. Take a look. This is a high-rise building in Midtown Atlanta. Neighbors say pipes connected to a sprinkler on the top floor froze. And that's why water flooded everything in its path, 34, 35 floors down.
The first thing to do is get to your water main shutoff. Inside your unit, build a towel dam if possible. I would take some video right away, some pictures right away for your insurance company.
And that's why you need Renter's Insurance. Moody says his insurance agency told him to document everything so he can be reimbursed.
Well, we know portable heaters can be lifesavers in this cold, but they can also be dangerous. The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission says portable and electric space heaters are involved in 1,700 fires each year. The agency says heaters should not be too close to furniture or drapes or blankets, and never leave the heaters on while you sleep.
Road crews pre-treated roads to get ahead of this storm. If you were out today, you noticed the brine and the salt mixture out there. Channel 2 Steve Gelbach continues our live Severe Weather Team 2 coverage from Carroll County.
Roads here are pre-treated. We're at the exit ramp off I-20 at Villa Rica, and the overpass up here, the bridge, has been salted along with some of the major highways. And then down below, the interstate does have that layer of brine down. The pile of salt and gravel on I-20 near the Douglas-Carroll County line is about half gone, as crews have been out ahead of any winter weather. GDOT is focusing on interstates, laying down that brine mixture of salt and water, leaving behind a film to pre-treat the pavement.
They say it's supposed to start snowing in about an hour, and it's a 2-hour drive, so that means that it will be snow on the road for an hour before I get there. So I'm hoping for the best.
We talked to this driver headed west, then south into Alabama.
I'm hoping that everything will be fine. I've packed a bag just in case I get stuck.
As I-20 could be the dividing line, we found shoppers from Carroll to Coweta counties getting ready.
We're trying to get some snow melt, but nobody's got any snow melt.
But at this Walmart in Villa Rica, we didn't see many last-minute shoppers out this morning, but the parking lot and sidewalks had plenty of salt to melt any accumulation. After the heavy snow from just over a week ago, many are not taking any chances stocking up.
If we had snow, I could deal with it, but just to be cold and ice, I don't like it.
And we'll be watching the changing conditions, especially south and west here of the metro, as we go into this afternoon and this evening. In Carroll County, Steve Gelbach, Channel 2 Action News.
This afternoon, we're seeing incredible video of the rare snowstorm in other southern states. This is an aerial view of the snowflakes falling in Mobile, Alabama, and you can see how powerful the winds are there. That was just a few hours ago. And this is what Houston, Texas looked like before sunrise. You see the snow on the ground there. It looks similar to what we saw in Metro Atlanta just days ago. And snowball fights in New Orleans, Louisiana. Look at the folks there along the French Quarter, Bourbon Street. They're covered in the white stuff.
When it's cold outside, staying comfortable is a must. Here's Carolyn Gracie with today's local Steals and Deals.
I'm so happy to be presenting the always popular Cloud No-Show socks in either the ankle version or the terry version, which is a little bit thicker, more of a square silhouette. They both come in either sets of 3 or 5. In the ankle version, which is so popular, you can choose the beige or the blue. In the terry version, you can choose the beige or the black, and they come in 5 different sizes. So what's so great about these? First of all, they truly are no-show. They don't slip down under your foot, and that's so annoying. You have to keep pulling them up. And they also don't come up so high that they actually do show. This is the perfect no-show sock. And actually, I'm wearing them, and you would never know. I've got the terry ones on right now, and it looks like I'm not wearing any socks at all. These are a great gift idea. If you have a gift on the horizon, they come with an adorable gift box with a set. And again, organic cotton, 66%. They don't slip. They are so comfortable, so breathable, really, really high quality, and oh so soft. You will absolutely love these socks, and really, they don't show. They don't slip. And they are the best. Everyone loves them. So right now we're offering up to 26% off on Cloud. Head to localsteals.com for this exclusive offer on the best no-show socks.
If you've lived in Atlanta for a while, you remember cars stranded, abandoned during Snow Jam 2014. We're going to take a look at the change since then when it comes to state planning to make sure this does not happen again.
Need inspiration?
Elevate your workspace with the Lightning Desk Mat, a multifunctional tool to enhance your computer.
continue to accumulate. I'll show you for how much longer and our impact straight ahead.
Right now at 4, a winter weather alert. Across metro Atlanta, snow started falling within the hour.
I'm Michael Seiden in Troup County, where the snow is really starting to fall.
You can take a look. It's hitting the ground and it's not sticking.
But the concern here is not just the snow, but the temperature of the roads themselves.
We have live severe weather Team 2 coverage, the snow, the roads, and response.
This could deteriorate very quickly.
Channel 2 Action News at 4 starts now.
Live, local, late breaking. This is Channel 2 Action News at 4 p.m. Coverage you can count on.
Severe Weather Team 2 warned us some of us would see snow this afternoon, and that transition is happening now. Good afternoon, and thanks for being with us. I'm Wendy Corona.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Linda Stouffer. The snow is falling. Here's the latest on that winter storm. Snow started falling in metro Atlanta within the last few hours. Now, for some of us, it's flurries. But this video from Coweta County shows steady snow moving through and sticking.
Our eyes are on our live network of traffic cameras as snow falls across the metro and temperatures drop to very frigid air for another night. This is I-285 and I-75 in Cobb County, a problem spot last time around. And so far, the northern suburbs, they are avoiding much of the snowfall. But GDOT told us it's prepared all across the state.
Storm Tracker 2 HD shows where the snow is falling now. Earlier today, Governor Brian Kemp told Georgia the state is prepared and has equipment in place.
We're going to give it everything we got with everything we got. Arch.
Dozens of schools actually closed today. Others went virtual, and we want to update you on those school closings as they come in. Tomorrow, Pike County schools closed now. Meriwether schools, Rockdale County schools will have virtual learning tomorrow, and Jackson, Madison County, and Oglethorpe schools will now be delayed 2 hours.
We also have a list that'll be scrolling there at the bottom of your screen, and we have all of the school closings and delays on our website, WSBTV.com.
A lot of districts are making that decision right now. Meteorologist Brian Monahan is here, along with Chief Meteorologist Brad Nitz, tracking what's happening now. We start with Brad in Severe Weather Center 2 with what to expect.
Yeah, so snow is accumulating across parts of metro Atlanta and North Georgia, of course. So we're going to take a look at some of these live cameras. This is from the world's busiest airport, where the snow is covering much of the ground there and continuing to fall. Meteorologist Brian Monahan is going to take us through a few of these other cameras across the area. So in northern Clayton County, at Hartsfield-Jackson, we've got the snow. Here's a look at the Grady curve. Now, the interstate has been pre-treated, and the travel lanes look pretty decent. But notice into the shoulder, the exits, and then like the neighborhood roads here, all covered in snow because we have been below freezing since Sunday evening. Everything is very cold. This is a live look to DeKalb County, top of Stone Mountain, the snow-capped peak of Stone Mountain right now. Storm Tracker 2 HD shows where the snow is falling. Northwest Georgia missing out on all of this, and no snow in the forecast for you here from Rome to Calhoun and even parts of the Northwest Metro. Look how cold it is. Oftentimes with these snowstorms, the variable that we're watching very carefully is, do we get quite cold enough for the snow? That has not been the case. The limiting factor initially through the morning was the dry air, as expected. Now that has been overcome from basically I-85 corridor to the east and to the south. So we've got accumulating snow, a good dusting. Adding to that now in Midtown and downtown, you saw the picture from Clayton County, northern Clayton County at the airport, and snow starting to fall out towards Athens. My daughter who lives in Athens just told me they're getting some snow there now. And here's a look at Coweta County. Down into Troup County, we've got a good coating of snow there as well. And this will continue over the next few hours. We have winter storm warnings, winter weather advisories in effect, and meteorologist Brian Monahan is going to take us through those specifics for us. Brian?
Yeah, we're with us this morning on Channel 2 Action News this morning. Lori Wilson was with us. She described it a perfect way, an upside down kind of storm. And what we mean when we say that is the snow has been to the south, less on the north side, unusual compared to how we usually think about things, and really a once-in-a-lifetime generational storm along the Gulf Coast. Much more on that coming up, but want to focus in on our local impacts here, which again are becoming increasingly significant as expected on the south side in our winter storm warning. That includes Meriwether County, Pike, Lamar, Upson County, toward Griffin, Eatonton, and Monticello, where 1 to 2 inches of snow is going to fall between now and let's say 7, 8 o'clock as this all starts to wrap up, and then in and around metro Atlanta Atlanta, a dusting to an inch of snow where we have a winter weather advisory. But again, the message here, because those pavement temperatures are so cold, basically almost instantaneously, we started to see that snow accumulate on the paved surfaces that are untreated, and that's going to cause a lot of slick and hazardous travel. So the best advice where you are right now, just plan to stay there through the evening as we watch this snow come on down. So between now and let's say 6, 7 o'clock, we'll gradually start to see the snow taper off across North Georgia as dry air starts to move in, but still another few hours to go where there will be accumulating snow in a good chunk of our area. We'll be back with updated accumulations and hour-by-hour forecasts for you coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Brian, thank you for that. And we do have live Team 2 coverage covering preparations at the state and local levels and the areas that are seeing snow now. We begin with Channel 2's Michael Seiden in Troup County, and residents there, some of the first in our area to see snow. Michael?
Yeah, Wendy, it's been really nice out here. The snow started falling just before 2 o'clock. In fact, you're getting a live look right now at the square here in downtown LaGrange. You can see usually it'd be busy here, but really not too many people around. But I want to show you, we are already getting reports of several crashes. Not sure how. We spent the afternoon in downtown LaGrange where just before 2 p.m. the snow began to fall. In fact, this part of town is known as the square. There are businesses and restaurants and the county courthouse, but most didn't open today or they closed early and sent the employees home. Now, we started our morning at the county command center where we watched as deputies, firefighters, and other emergency management officials tracked the winter weather and made preparations ahead of the snow.
Since we do have Interstate 85 and 185 that runs through Troup County, we understand that DOT has already pre-treated that and some of the state highways, but our major concern are the outlying roads, like the county roads or the streets or subdivisions, where it doesn't get pre-treated.
And yeah, we had a technical difficulty, but what I was trying to tell you is that emergency officials out here were concerned because you can see how the snow is starting to build up here on these streets. So we will definitely wait.
Hopefully he's okay. Still has his footing. Just a few technical glitches right there. But yes, the snow is starting to stick. And look at it coming down all over Tom Jones' coat. Our live severe weather Team 2 coverage is in Spalding County now. That's Channel 2's Tom Jones live in Griffin, Tom.
Yeah, you noticed my coat, huh? All white with that fluffy white snow. Earlier, we were getting the snow off and on, but in the last hour or so, it's been coming down very steady. As I mentioned, light and fluffy rather, fluffy enough where you can ride on a car here. You can see how it just disappears. But what we're concerned about out here is how the snow is impacting the roads. You can see it's not really sticking here. It's sticking in some places, but not a real concern right now on the roads. We just saw a snowplow going through. But right now, for a lot of people gathered out here, all this snow is fun and pretty to look at.
I love it. We don't really get snow down here.
Paige Godfrey walked out of Kroger and noticed it was snowing, although it was the light and fluffy kind that melted when it hit the ground.
Yeah, it's going to be fluffy, they said this time, instead of the icy mess that we had.
The snow started coming down after 2 Tuesday afternoon. It would start and stop, then start again. J.R. Graham was happy to see it.
See, I'm from South Florida, so it's like, you know what I'm saying, I ain't really too much used to it for real.
We stopped by Spalding County Public Works to see what they were doing to make sure roads are passable if significant snow hits the area.
So we're adding road salt to sand.
We watched crews load up trucks with the salt and sand mix. They pre-treated bridges and roads known to ice over. The county also pre-treated streets near fire departments, the sheriff's office, and hospitals. Crews are prepared if the snow starts to overwhelm roads.
We'll go to hot spots. We'll also stand by in case any emergency vehicles need to get to a scene.
If there's an accident that happens somewhere and we know our ambulances need to be out there, they need to be able to go, then they don't need to slip and slide.
The county is hoping the snow stays away. J.R. Graham wants to see more of it.
So I can stay home.
And the county says it is prepared to ramp up staff if this snow starts to overwhelm roads. We're live in Spalding County in Griffin. I'm Tom Jones for Channel 2 Action News.
And staying home is the safest place to be. Tom, thank you.
Georgia Power has its response center full and ready to dispatch to those areas hit hardest by power outages. State agencies across Georgia are preparing their teams for the storm that's moving through right now. Our live Severe Weather Team 2 coverage continues now with Channel 2's Michael Doudna live outside of Georgia Power headquarters. Michael, how's it going there?
Yeah, obviously you can see the snow falling, and honestly, Georgia Power talked to me about how they were trying to prep for the storm, really positioning people farther south like a lot of our team. But they say the type of snow, being this light and fluffy kind, actually is good news because it means likely less power outages in the metro area. But still, they're trying to prepare for the worst, as is a lot of other agencies and people all over the state. Before the snow hit, South Fulton was in a rush, grabbing supplies to get home before the winter weather hits.
It's a lot trying to do it in a hurry like that. 2 snowstorms here in 13 years, but 2 in less than 2 weeks is crazy.
Oh my gosh. I hate it.
And as people made their final preparations, state agencies were finishing up work they started days ago.
We have done what we can in efforts to get ahead of this very large, impactful potential for winter weather.
The Georgia Department of Transportation say they began brining roads on Sunday, dropping 1.7 million gallons of brine on 43,000 lane miles of Georgia roads.
We have 448 snow plows with people ready to go when the winter precipitation starts to fall.
But the concern here is not just the snow, but the temperature of the roads themselves. Right now, if you can see, the temperature is around 22 or so degrees. And the concern is that when the snow falls, they'll either melt and immediately freeze or just stick, making for some very slick conditions.
It's very cold. Yeah, so we have the freeze warning, right? Temperature is going to be in the teens, if not below, due to the wind chill. We're looking at anywhere from down to 4 degrees. So the cold weather staying a little bit longer is going to be the difference, which is going to affect the roadways throughout into tomorrow and possibly Thursday.
And of course, that temperature of the roadways is why that brining is so important. We'll continue to monitor those road conditions, especially the temperature of the roads, as we continue, along with talking more about what Georgia Power is doing to make sure your power stays on as the storm continues to roll through. But for now, we're live in Midtown Atlanta. Michael Doudna, Channel 2 Action News.
A little snow sticking there in Midtown Atlanta and northern Clayton County at the world's busiest airport. Snow. And in DeKalb County, the snow-capped Stone Mountain. I'll show you how much longer this sticks around, and I'll give you a breakdown of the expected snow totals by the time this is all done.
This winter weather forced all schools in Cobb County to close today. How it's impacting parents.
And I'm George Estevez, live in Midtown Atlanta, where yes, it is snowing, and also, take a look, it is sticking. Our live Severe Weather Team 2 coverage continues with how people got ready for this and what's next when it comes to the drive home.
If we hadn't hired Molly, I don't think we would have had the best representation.
It really does help. You don't realize how important it is to have someone that will help to guide you. They understand everything. They know this paperwork inside and out.
I am very, very pleased with everything.
Should I have to have an attorney for that purpose, it would certainly be Motley.
Elevate your workspace with the Lightning Desk Mat, a multifunctional tool to enhance your computing experience. Surrounded by LED ambient lighting, including a wireless charging station with a silky smooth surface that's waterproof, functional, and elegant. The Lightning Mat is the ultimate desktop accessory. Scan the code to light up your workspace today with the Lightning Mat. Available now.
This is Local. Channel 2 Action News. We're always live.
Breaking the big story.
Right this second here in Winder, we are working multiple sources trying to figure out.
And here in Alpharetta, we have a new angle you need to hear.
We're talking with people who really know the Swanee neighborhood.
What do you want done? In McDonough, you can only get this perspective from Newsroom 2.
Happening now in Powder Springs as we get word of a developing situation.
It's about you, your neighborhood.
See what's new. Channel 2 Action News, live at 4, 5, and 6.
So one of the things I actually appreciate about Delta Community is those personal loans. The interest rates are so low.
Severe Weather Team 2 is tracking a winter storm moving through our area right now. Storm Tracker 2 HD is there in the big box on your screen there on the left. All of this is impacting roads, pipes, and even the procedures at the airport.
Channel 2's George Estevez continues our live Severe Weather Team 2 coverage in Midtown. And George, you saw some of the earliest snow in our area this afternoon with the trip down I-85.
We really did, and right now my hat is getting older as we speak because it's getting more salt and pepper as the snow continues to come down in Midtown Atlanta, and we're seeing it right outside our Channel 2 Action News studios. We've been standing out here for about 15 minutes, but earlier today we headed down south to see how they're getting ready for the storm.
Headed down I-85 through Noonan, we saw fewer drivers on the road, and those who were out tried to beat the snow, while others just called it a day off.
You're in the pressure washing business. Taking a break today, I guess?
Yes, sir. It's cold outside. We can't do too much work out here right now. It freezes.
So we spotted these trucks working with GDOT here along the side of the road in LaGrange. Had a conversation with them. They told me their job today is going to be to help drivers, whether it's repair equipment, help them if they're stranded, and make sure they get on the road.
We also found the Troup County engineer taking care of an errand before possibly heading into work.
My guys in roads and engineering department are considered essential on days like today when there could be a lot of impacts to the roads.
And essential because of the drivers who are still going to be out there.
Absolutely. We're doing the best we can to keep the roads safe.
And we spotted more crews busy getting ready for the storm. You can see the Spectrum truck behind me. It's a cable company, and their biggest concern, snow on the lines, those lines snapping, and people being out of service. And when they're stuck inside, people want to watch TV.
And then driving north back to the station, the I-75, I-85 connector, we started to see some flurries.
Yeah, the first flurries Brian and I were taking a look at. We are in the parking lot now on the actual gravel here. You can see as I take the steps back, you can see my imprints, but take a look at these tire marks. A truck came through here, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes ago, and you can see the snow already making the black tar white again. So that is going to be the concern as people head home. Live in Midtown, George Estevez, Channel 2 Action News.
Tricky driving, and we are watching it change by the minute. George, thank you.
So here is another live look outside. This is a live look at the Buford Spring Connector. This is in northeast Atlanta, where you can see the heart of the city now seeing snow and people still on the roads.
It has changed a lot in the last hour. Now, here are some road safety suggestions to keep in mind. Slow down to about half your usual speed. Do not use cruise control in these kinds of conditions. Avoid any abrupt steering or changes. And if you come to a traffic signal that's not working, it can happen in conditions like this. Just treat it as a four-way stop and make sure to check your gas tank. It should be at least half full.
Meteorologist Brian Monahan is live in Severe Weather Center 2 with a look at a tool that we can use to follow those falling ground temperatures.
Yeah, that's a key part of the forecast here. You're looking at our live camera over Midtown and downtown, and we have road sensors in the pavement that are able to detect just how much below freezing those pavement temperatures are. Now, Chief Meteorologist Brad Nitz is querying some of those temperatures right now on our Storm Tracker 2 system, and you can see these pavement temperatures down near freezing in Carrollton, near freezing in LaGrange, below freezing now in Atlanta. These are spots where we're going to see that snow quickly continue to accumulate and stick to the roads. We've been showing you those live cameras that are showing that snow sticking to the pavement, and this is just one of the tools we're able to use in a cold day like today to see what areas are going to be most susceptible to seeing possible icy patches on the roads. And again, many spots here in and around Metro Atlanta where that snow is falling at and below freezing for the pavement temperature. And with cold temperatures overnight, something we're also going to be following is how icy and snow covered these roads are going to stay overnight and into tomorrow morning. We'll talk more about that in just a few minutes.
Brian, thank you. And you are looking live right now over the downtown connector. Snow is sticking on that overpass. This is the Grady Curve. Severe Weather Team 2 meteorologist Ebony Dion is live in Severe Weather Chaser 2. Ebony, you are in Troup County in LaGrange.
Well, we started there and now we're working our way up along I-85 North. And what we've noticed is the snow has been persistent. And some of the issues that we've encountered, as I now show you the road view, is reduced visibilities. We are actually on a 3-lane highway, but as you look over to the left, you can barely make out the other lane. It's covered in snow. And I just checked the road temperature right now where we are. It's 28 degrees. So while we're starting to see some of that snow kind of blowing around, it is best just to stay off the roads altogether. We have encountered a few slick spots kind of here and there, but as long as we continue to take it slow, I think we're going to be in okay shape. But it is tough to see, especially once you get behind those semi trucks, because they're kind of kicking up some of that snow and it's making a little bit of a cloud, so that's making it difficult to see as well. We will continue to check on road conditions all around Coweta County now as we make our way northward along I-85 North in Severe Weather Chaser 2, Severe Weather Team 2 meteorologist Ebony Dion.
Ebony, thank you for that. Another live look at Storm Tracker 2 HD radar as a winter storm moves through North Georgia. This is the top of Stone Mountain. Doesn't that look beautiful, all snow covered?
Channel 2 consumer advisor Clark Howard says track what's in your Social Security account, even if you're nowhere near retirement age. New at 4, he's
19 degrees, relative humidity 85%, wind northwest at 10 miles an hour. With a wind chill of 12, pressure was 30.43 inches and steady. Around Atlanta, Assembly, with snow and fog, it was 22, wind west at 6. At Marietta, it was cloudy and 25, wind northwest at 3. With light snow, it was 23, wind northeast at 5. At Peachtree City, with snow and fog, it was 23, wind northwest at 7. At Lawrenceville, with snow and fog, it was 25, wind west at 9. At Cartersville, it was cloudy and 25, wind calm gusting to 12. At Hampton, it was 34, wind north at 6.
You've got the brighter blues. An inch of snow per hour, 1 inch per hour snow rates. If we were talking about a lake effect snow event back in the Northeast, that would be ho-hum. This is Florida, immediate proximity to the Gulf. It's crazy to be talking about snow like this and the duration of it. And with this zone somewhere in through here, we may challenge the all-time records there in Florida. It's 4.0 inches in a single calendar day. Some spots close by have already measured 3. So we'll keep an eye on those. Just eyeball test with some of those pictures, too. Pensacola is now reporting 2.5, and it's still snowing. So, yeah, we're making an honest run at that all-time record. As we keep you updated with this historic winter storm, let's take a look back at southeastern Louisiana. That camera that we were just showing you, wild scenes. The New Orleans metro area is currently under both a winter storm warning and an extreme cold warning. It's a dangerous combination. National Weather Service, as we said, had mentioned the possibility of about an inch an hour snow possible. You're probably looking at that right now with that picture as visibility is greatly reduced. And joining us now is the New Orleans Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness, the director, Colin Arnold. Director, great to have you with us here on Fox Weather. This is a historic day.
Thanks, Ian.
Yeah, first measurable snow for you since 2009, and you went beyond that, smashing some of these records. How is the city holding up?
Thanks for having me in. I think we're holding up well. Obviously, there's a lot of unknowns right now for us over the next 3 days. The snow appears to be slightly and gradually starting to taper off a little, but we're looking at 6 inches here at City Hall. I've never seen anything like that here before, and they're going back to the late 1800s as a comparable. So we've held up the best we can, I think, with what we have, and a lot of roads closed. We've encouraged people to stay home, and they have, and I'm very appreciative of that because we're not having any traffic accidents. We're not having any uptick in medical issues or anything like that at this point. Power has remained stable. The winds have not. Winds have been kicking a little bit, but not up into that range where we started worrying about widespread power outages. We are seeing, obviously the fact that with the temperatures, this is going to continue on for tomorrow and maybe even into Thursday, obviously. And so we're rounding up resources. We've got snow plows out that just started now. As this snow starts to taper off, we were able to get a snowplow company to come in and to start work, working closely with our state Department of Transportation. They kept up the roads as long as they could, but at some point it just became overwhelming.
We had mentioned the once-in-a-generation nature of this, potentially all time, depending on where you measure. Like you said, it must be wild for you to even say half a foot of snow at City Hall. This is a place that is more accustomed to preparing for tropical systems. The same goes for your teams, too, truly. Was that a challenge in your response to this and in your messaging? It sounds like maybe it wasn't with what we've seen so far with the city getting through this.
It's a great point. It's really not. We try to approach everything from an all-hazard standpoint. So whether we're asking someone to stay inside because it's cold or stay inside and shelter in place for a hurricane, our public, I'm very blessed with a public that listens, for the most part. And I think we're really lucky in that respect. And we've built that trust where when we say, look, Tuesday is not going to be good and Wednesday is probably going to be worse, people listen. And so there's a lot of people out today kind of enjoying this, and it's kind of heartwarming to see. It's something that's extremely unique and I think unprecedented is a word I would use.
Yes.
But obviously, I think we will have some challenges over the next 2 days as we try and recover. As the temperatures continue to stay low, whatever snow we're getting right now, I think is going to stay on the ground until we move it, and until Thursday when we start appreciably going up. Above 32 degrees and get into the 40s and 50s. But to your point, 2 days ago, it was 72 degrees here.
Yeah, 72 degrees 2 days ago. You said this, you touched on it a little bit, but I wonder with this, if the sneaky aspect of this storm, if the most dangerous part of it will actually be in the next couple days, because you got the message out, you've asked people to stay home, and when you look out the window and you see what you guys are seeing, it feels like it's probably easier to do so. But as the sun starts to come back out and you go through that freeze-thaw cycle, that might actually end up being the most dangerous part with slick roads. What are you telling residents there as that message, as these hazards linger?
That it's a marathon, not a sprint. I actually think the next 2 days will be the most challenging part of this. Because I do believe that once the sun is out and people start driving around a little more, I think there's still going to be some challenges with freeze thaw and ice on the roads. And so, we're preparing for that. We're going to double down on salt and sand and everything we can do to try and keep the public safe. But I think the main way we can do that is to continue to encourage our public to stay indoors, stay inside, stay warm, and enjoy this kind of weird, unprecedented event with your family, and realize that it may be a couple of days before really getting out and getting around is going to be the smartest thing to do. And we're going to continue to work with our state partners, on the interstates and the state roads. We are a city surrounded by bridges and elevated roadways. So, these things tend to freeze early and often. And so, we want to make sure people are safe.
Yes.
We're also, providing warming centers and other locations for our folks that maybe don't have the opportunity to get warm as well. And those have been well attended, and we just opened another one this morning just because of capacity. So
yeah,
we're going to continue that. We're going to continue with that as well.
As you said, weird is kind of a good way to put it with this one. And the hazards will linger for a couple more days. So a great message there. Definitely glad to hear that you've done well through this first part of it. And I hope folks just to stay safe moving forward through the rest of this. Director Colin Arnold in New Orleans. Thanks for talking to us on Fox Weather. All right, out to the west, firefighters are battling new fires in San Diego County. At least 4 new fires have broken out since early this morning. 2 of them have been contained or put out, but 2 more continue to burn. Back farther off to the north in the Los Angeles area, firefighters are, of course, still working to contain the 2 much larger fires that have brought death and devastation over the past couple of weeks. Fox Corporation has teamed up with the Red Cross's California wildfire relief efforts. Here's how you can help. It's on your screen right there. Visit go.fox/Red Cross or scan the QR code that's on the left side of your screen. Fox Weather Now. We'll be right back.
Thursday.
Wind north at 16, gusting to 23. Here is the official forecast from your National Weather Service for the Atlanta listening area.
To the south and to the east, we have accumulating snow now. You can see here across much of the South Metro with areas already approaching an inch or more of snowfall. This is still where the greatest accumulation will be, but we still have areas in and around the city approaching an inch of snowfall and continuing to add up to the east as well. One thing I want to show you, we're going to come in very close here into Cobb County. So here's the Cobb Cloverleaf. This is Truist Park, the baseball park, of course, right here, and Windward Parkway just to the north. Got a couple of tower cams from here, but I want to show you here from Truist, looking to the south and east. Check this out. There's the snow on the ground. You can see some of the treated travel lanes looking pretty good, but the shoulders covered in snow, and you've got snow on the grass. But look from Truist northward, Windward Parkway northward, little snow on the radar. Look at the view from that same position. Look in the opposite direction. Hardly anything out there. So that's the dividing line right there at Truist Park between no snow to the north and accumulating snow to the south and east. Other areas dealing with accumulating snow in this winter weather advisory in effect until 7 o'clock. We'll come in closer and I'm going to fine tune this a little bit more. Some of these northwestern counties haven't had any impact, and you will not. So that includes not Rome, of course, you've already been out, but into Polk County, down into Haralson County, Carroll County. You've had very little, if any, just a few flurries, no big deal there. But from Atlanta to the south and to the east, light snow is falling, slick spots on road because that road surface, as Brian showed us, below freezing, hazardous travel. Now, more accumulation steadily as you go south, an inch or more already has fallen. And these areas under the winter storm warning with 1 to 2 inches of snow will have dangerous travel. But it's not just that the snow is falling now and making travel dangerous for the next few hours. That's pretty obvious. But it is so cold that these impacts are going to last through the night and into the morning hours. So let me give you a look on breaking down the snowfall totals expected by the time this is over. We're looking generally a half to 1 inch across much of the metro, right in the heart of the metro. Just flurries to the north, no big deal. But the South Metro, 1 to 2 inches of snow as this system adds up. Meteorologist Brian Monahan is going to take us through that hour-by-hour forecast. And when the back end of this snow finally moves out, Brian?
Yeah, Brad, we still have another few hours where we'll see that opportunity for accumulating snow in and around I-85 south and east. So let's take a look at what we can expect here over the next few hours. While I load that up, I do want to pass along some new information. Just caught my eye. This is from Emergency Management in Coweta County. No surprise here, hopefully limited because fewer people on the roads, but numerous car accidents, several calls to 911 regarding ice forming on the roadways there. That is in Coweta County. So some new reports there. But between now and 7 o'clock, that light snow and flurry activity will continue, especially along and south of I-85, gradually working its way to the south and east. So it will gradually start to taper off through 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock when Brad's with you tonight for WSB Tonight at 11 o'clock. Maybe a few lingering flurries, but for the most part, we just have falling temperatures, and that sets the stage for the next part of this system. Overnight, very cold temperatures. We're going to be down in the teens overnight. That means what is on the ground now, what will continue to fall over the next few hours, That's going to stay locked in place. Travel is going to be very, very difficult tomorrow morning, if not impossible in spots on those untreated roadways, because all of this snow that's falling, even though it's not all that much in many spots, is going to form a layer of ice likely on the roads as we head through the overnight hours. So here's our timeline. 5 o'clock, that's just about a half an hour from now. There's that sharp edge in the snow. That was pretty remarkable, by the way, what Brad showed you, just over the matter of a half a mile from snow on the ground to just a few flurries falling across parts of Cobb County. And we're going to keep that very fine line across metro Atlanta over the next couple of hours. But by 7 o'clock, gradually drier air. It's coming back into North Georgia. That's going to start to slide the snow away from metro Atlanta. Still ongoing snow, though, through Eatonton and Griffin and Thomaston. Again, those are those areas where we expect the highest accumulations. Then by 11 o'clock, we're starting to clear out. And then here come those falling temperatures. Bitterly cold tomorrow morning. And again, what falls is going to stick around through the morning tomorrow with temperatures down in the teens to start the day. Here's your 5-day forecast. The weekend always in view for the rest of the day. Today, 37 degrees. Tomorrow, we're at 41. Thursday, we're at 41. By Friday, we're at 42 degrees. So we will start to warm things up. By the weekend, we are back in the 50s for highs, tracking our next chance of rain as we make our way in toward Sunday. Now, we continue our Severe Weather Team 2 coverage with Channel 2's Mike Shields. Mike, we were talking about it this morning. You were warning people this morning to work from home if you can because of this situation we were setting up for this afternoon. Now, you're watching some trouble that includes I-20. Mike.
Yeah, that's right, Brian. Let's take a live look at Traffic Tracker 2. This is why I urged you to stay home if you could. This is I-20. All those cars there stacked up. That is I-20 eastbound right before Candler Road inside the perimeter into Cobb County. Widely scattered crash, several vehicles on the right shoulder. I've seen some vehicles actually sliding sideways in the right lane, so it does appear it's starting to get icy on I-20 right at Candler Road into Cobb County. And this is why it's so dangerous to be out on the roadways. And like Brian and Brad's been telling us, temperatures are only going to continue to drop. So what's falling is staying, and it's going to continue to ice the more it tries to melt under vehicles and then refreeze tonight. So if you can, stay off the roadways as travel is becoming hazardous inside and outside the perimeter, especially on the south side. I'll continue to watch the roads for you, though. We'll have more updates coming up. But for now, I'm Mike Shields, Channel 2 Action News.
All right, that is inside the perimeter, I-20 east at Candler. And we also just got this into our newsroom. MARTA says it has suspended bus service as the road conditions continue to deteriorate.
In the two places we've had reports of ice on the roads, we also have reports of wrecks. That inside 285 area Wendy was just talking about. Also, Coweta County reports of accidents there. Let's take a look at how Georgia got ready for this winter weather. Our live Severe Weather Team 2 coverage continues county by county now, starting in DeKalb County. Road crews added calcium chloride to the salt and sand mix. They've been spreading it on the roads. Salt and sand alone might not be enough. Crews are adding that calcium chloride because it can withstand the freezing temperatures.
In Coweta County, public works employees are treating the primary roads first, then they're hitting the secondary roads. We're told they'll be working 12-hour shifts well into the evening to make sure the rock and salt mixture keeps roads from icing over.
And now to Carroll County near the Douglas County line. We saw a pile of salt and gravel along I-20, about half gone. GDOT crews have been out all day treating interstates, ramps, and bridges with that brine mix.
Gwinnett County firefighters, they answered more than 600 calls during our last snowstorm. The effort's right now to prepare for a potentially busy night.
Knowing what's in your Social Security account keeps you ahead of criminal activity. New at 4 while you're stuck inside, something you can take care of. Consumer advisor Clark Howard has 2 things that will protect your money.
All right, so that's 1 pair of glasses. Yep. With prescription lenses, plus anti-reflective lens coating. Oh. Scratch-resistant coating.
Did I choose?
UV protection. Award-winning customer service.
That's me.
That's also me. Free returns, free exchanges, and free frame adjustments for life.
And how much more is that?
Oh, it's all included at Warby Parker.
So my glasses
are still just $95.
Oh.
Surprise! I just get excited.
Stay tuned for a special free offer from Flash Force Tactical Flashlight. With its powerful telescopic zoom, the Flash Force Tactical Flashlight gives you a super bright light visible at a distance of over 2,000.
Wind chill values can lead to hypothermia with prolonged exposure. Very cold temperatures can lead to hypothermia with prolonged exposure. Use caution while traveling outside. Wear appropriate clothing, a hat, and gloves. Keep pets indoors as much as possible. Make frequent checks on older staff
Double-digit snow totals close by to the mouth of the Mississippi River. This is some strange day. It's a strange event, and a little jealous that you're right in the mix right there. What an experience to see a storm like this.
Yeah.
We could live the rest of our lives and never have another one like that. Brandy Campbell, thank you. Let's get you a live view of Mount Pleasant there in South Carolina. That's the bridge. You go on the other side of the bridge, you find yourself in Charleston, less than 4 miles west across the Cooper River. Right there is downtown Charleston, as I mentioned. That is where we find Fox Weather meteorologist Stephen Morgan. Stephen, not often that you get deployed to Charleston, South Carolina to talk about winter weather, but I know you've been following this throughout the day today. I don't even know what to say. I mean, double-digit totals almost in New Orleans. You got Baton Rouge area. This is crazy. Some of this, to a lesser extent, is heading to where you are.
You know what I love so much is that little kid in Brandy Campbell is coming out because she's gotten snow in her town of New Orleans. It just does something. Listen, this is the worst place to be, Ian. I'm looking at Brandy's shot, seeing those totals. Look at what just fell in our direction. So we've got palm trees. Ross is zooming in right now. We've got a glaze of ice that has started to accrete on these elevated surfaces. As you called it, the bridge. We know at the Ravenel Bridge, the Cooper Bridge, it does get you over to Mount Pleasant. And the forecast that we have here, it's a concerning one. We've had temperatures that have been dropping as that dew point is going up. So we've got a saturated column of air. We need this stuff to change over to snow. Otherwise, there's going to be some problems on those roads. Winter storm warning goes into effect in less than 30 minutes, 5 o'clock technically. But they were watching this early onset of the moisture boundary strengthening out into the Atlantic. We got to pay attention to it. I know we're limited on the time. We spoke with just earlier the director of emergency management, the emergency management department here in Charleston County, Justin Pierce, and he was saying, from a preparedness standpoint and an operational standpoint, this winter storm is not unlike a hurricane. And one of the facets that they need to watch, obviously the elements are different, but the bridges and how the state might have to close those. Listen to what he had to say.
The state with law enforcement will shut down the bridge if they deem it to be unsafe. Based upon what happened last time, I would warn residents to be prepared for an extended period closures if that happens, because if ice forms on the bridges, they don't want to open it back up when the ice starts to melt and could fall down on the vehicles. That's what happened last time, I believe, in 2018.
Okay, so 2018, we need to go back to that time. We actually have some video from that time. It was actually January, which this month climatologically is the coldest. Hopefully we have that video from then, because they picked up some decent snow here. More than 5 inches of snow, in fact, fell in Charleston. It was a significant storm. It closed down the bridge, but it was as ice began to melt that required those bridges to remain closed. This storm of note, the one back in 2018, not just was a 5-inch producing snow, which landed them among the top 5 snowiest days in Charleston recorded history. It was also the last time we saw snow here. So we wait to see how quickly this transition occurs. It probably will be pretty fast. I mean, Ian, you know how the atmosphere works. We're getting this type of moisture right now. It's not pleasant. Rain cools the atmosphere, and as we have that occur, that dynamic and evaporational cooling, we might see that changeover. And I'm feeling a northwest wind. That's a snow wind. That's a drier wind that at the surface will allow for at least snow to fall.
Yeah, Stephen, where you are, that'll kind of be the last of this, right? And it's some combination, 1 to 3 inches of what you're telling us now, some of the ice and some sleet and snow in the mix. Before we let you go, I just want to get your context of this. Standing in Charleston, thinking that your old city in Houston and everywhere in between is dealing with some of this wintry precipitation. I do have to tell you, you got a nice shout out from Greg Grugan there in Houston. He was singing your praises, rightfully so. He says hello. 3 to 5 inches of snow in your old town. Do you have a word for that? What would you say?
The Groogs. I would say there's this belief that after a hurricane comes the snow in the winter, and maybe it's along the Gulf Coast, maybe that's in Tampa, not sure, but that is definitely part of the Houstonian conversation at the water cooler. And the fact that we had Beryl, you see this. I know it's coincidental, and I don't think that there's a correlation, but any season that features a hurricane, a lot of Houstonians you'll hear will say, well, guess we're going to get snow this winter, and it happened.
Interesting. Yeah, the more you know. I'll tell you, living in Tampa, I never once heard that. It has snowed once there.
It's a Texas thing.
It was like a tenth of an inch in 1977, and they're missing out this go-around. A while to see that, though, Stephen. Looking forward to more of your reports, and we're watching out for the icing, as you said. That's Fox Weather's Stephen Morgan. Thank you.
The road conditions, driving in icy conditions, can be very, very hazardous. You are in these icy conditions, there's a lot that can go wrong. And if people have never driven in that before, it is just different driving in that.
Yeah, most there in Florida have not. That Governor Ron DeSantis warning Floridians that might be seeing their first snow in their lifetime. Once this powerful winter storm moves across Florida, we had said the all-time snow was in jeopardy. It's been broken. That's verified now, 5.5 inches. Governor DeSantis had said half a foot has never been measured in Florida. We might be measuring that this afternoon. We're already up to 5.5 inches back in Molino. That's western part of the Panhandle. That's what Pensacola Beach looks like. Incredible. Looking out toward the dunes that are covered in snow. We're breaking down this historic storm when Fox Weather comes right back.
Impacts, roads, and especially bridges and overpasses are slick and hazardous. Travel is not advised. The hazardous conditions will continue to impact the Tuesday evening and Wednesday morning commutes. Do not travel. If you must travel, use extreme caution. Keep an extra flashlight, food, and water in your vehicle in case of an emergency. The latest road conditions for the state you are calling from can be obtained by calling 511. Here is the official forecast from your National Weather Service for the Atlanta listening area. Late this afternoon, cloudy with a 40% chance of snow showers. Snow accumulation up to 1 inch. Near steady temperature in the mid-20s. Northwest winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Tonight, cloudy with a slight chance of snow showers early, then partly cloudy after midnight. Lows around 14. Northwest winds up to 10 miles an hour. Wind chill values around 5 above zero. Wednesday, sunny. Highs in the upper 30s. East winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Wind chill values around 5 above zero. Wednesday night, cold. Clear in the evening, then southeast winds in the evening, becoming light and variable. Thursday, mostly cloudy in the morning, then becoming partly sunny. Highs in the lower 40s. West winds 5 to 15 miles an hour. Thursday night, cold. Mostly clear. Lows in the lower 20s. Light northwest winds. For more detailed weather, water, and climate information.
Across the deep south, and with snow-covered streets, people enjoying the day. A lot of people are out taking video, and they're sharing it with us. So this video here is from a tower camera in Mobile, Alabama. And people in New Orleans, they are enjoying a very rare winter storm on Bourbon Street. In fact, they haven't seen snow like that on Bourbon Street in New Orleans since 1963. Our meteorologist Brian Monahan is following snow totals and live pictures that are coming in from our friends there. Brian.
Yeah, historic once-in-a-lifetime kind of snow there. As Brad was just telling you, New Orleans, this report from the National Weather Service employee, we're going to get the official report from the city of New Orleans coming up. Last check, officially about 4 inches at the airport, but 8.7 inches. And just to give you some perspective, that is snow that hasn't been seen officially on the official record at the airport. And you got to go back to the late 1800s, 1895, when a snowstorm about 8 inches hit New Orleans. Again, that's not an official number there, but that gives you some perspective of how rare this storm was and is along the Gulf Coast. Let's take some live pictures right now. That along Bourbon Street right now. You can see it, of course, decked out for Mardi Gras here as we head closer and closer to the month of February. Snow covered there as the snow continues to fall right now in New Orleans, and that will continue to be the case over the next few hours. And we still have another couple of hours to go with our snow here in North Georgia. We'll be back to update our local forecast. That's all coming up in just a few minutes.
Brian, thank you. And Gwinnett County firefighters are standing by as the snow falls after helping more than 600 calls last time it snowed. Channel 2 Gwinnett County Bureau Chief Matt Johnson continues our live severe weather Team 2 coverage live in Duluth. Matt, they're concerned about space heaters and fireplaces, people trying to keep warm today.
Do not travel. If you must travel, use extreme caution. Keep an extra flashlight, food, and water in your vehicle in case of an emergency. The latest road conditions for the state you are calling from can be obtained by calling 511. This advisory is for the following counties in Georgia: Clayton, Cobb, DeKalb, Douglas, Fayette, Forsyth, Gwinnett.
Ian, yeah, it's absolutely incredible. Never seen a New Orleans like this before. And I like what you said about how it looked like when the camera looking like Lake Superior. That's what I felt like waking up this morning, that I was in the Midwest. I would have never have guessed, looking at a picture out here, that this is the South. Just look behind me. This is downtown New Orleans, and it is completely white out here. How much snow we have gotten already, and it is still coming down here. And this is a very busy street here. Normally in New Orleans, this is Poydras Street, where you got the Superdome also on this street, and there is hardly anybody out here with their vehicles. You can see a couple coming by, but really none too many out here today, as the people who have tried, a lot of them got stuck or were just slipping around in the snow. But besides the trouble with vehicles today people have been having, people really have been out here and enjoying the day themselves. I've been seeing a lot of people getting out walking their dogs, as well as even just starting little snowball fights. And along this street you'll find many businesses, but a lot of them are closed as well because of the storm. And some people are telling me that they don't mind having the day off because of that. Take a listen.
I am happy because we're closed, because I get to play in the snow. I mean, but there's no way I could drive my car to work today. It's magical. I love this. For the most part, I kind of want to, hang out here and enjoy. We tried looking for a couple of hills, but, we're flatlanders over here, so.
And some major highways and interstates are closed because of the weather. And as of this afternoon, the Louisiana State Police have responded to over 50 calls for service and weather-related crashes throughout the state. The Louisiana Department of Transportation has crews out putting salt and sand on the roads. The department has reported incident on I-10 where one of the salt spreaders was involved in a collision with a citizen this morning. Officials also warn you shouldn't get right back on the road after the storm ends.
In this type of a situation here, we get some flurries or some snow. I've seen it before. I've lived here a long time. And in the afternoon, basically, you have the snow melting, and then everybody goes back upon their business the next day. This is not the case. Cold temperatures are going to be here for about another 48 hours. And local officials and obviously the state officials are going to have to lead us and let us know where we're going. We're going to have ice on the roads and that type of thing. It could be a very potentially dangerous situation.
And he says the city has never dealt with this much snow before, so it is a challenge for crews to handle it all themselves. So the Arkansas Department of Transportation is bringing in snowplows as well to help. Ian, I'll send it back to you.
Yeah, it'll remain a challenge over the next few with more of these sub-freezing temperatures in the overnights. A Fox News multimedia reporter, Bowen Kedrovich, thank you. And just a reminder, that's that live picture from the southern shores of Lake Pontchartrain. There's a Super Bowl coming up in 2.5 weeks. New Orleans is hosting Super Bowl 59 there at the Superdome. That's right here on Fox. February the 9th. You look at that picture. My unsolicited Super Bowl picks, Buffalo and Philadelphia. If you took away the locator, you could make me believe. You have to take the palm trees away, too. I would guess that shot was Buffalo or Philadelphia instead of New Orleans. This is a special and kind of weird, rare day today. Let's get you to more pictures. These are provided by exclusive Fox Weather Storm Tracker, Brandon Kopic. That's what it looks like out on the road in spots. He's in Prairieville, Louisiana. We'll check in with him now. Hey, Brandon, we just got the report, and we're checking in with him by radio. For Lafayette, they're now up over 10 inches of snow, up over about 10 and a half. What's it been like as you've been moving around? We've talked about the limited capabilities down south to get rid of snow like this.
Fall total in Lafayette, 100%. I mean, it's been incredible watching the snow come down. It's such a powerful rate and so quickly. I mean, this event, overall, I mean, let's look at the time now. It's about 4 o'clock Central or so. I mean, the majority of this event in that area happened in a good 8 to 10 hour span. So that, on top of the fact that they don't have plows around to plow the roads, it's made it extremely difficult. But with the help of the Arkansas Department of Transportation, they have at least had a few plows out every once in a while to help where they can and where it's most needed.
All right, Brandon. Yeah, we are up against the hour, but we're keeping an eye on your feed. We'll be checking in with you next hour as you show us the terrible road conditions, and those will get a bit crusty into the overnight hours. Brandon, thank you. That's going to do it for this hour of Fox Weather Now. We just got a bulletin, and you're looking live right there. The city of Atlanta just upgraded by the National Weather Service into a winter storm warning. An additional inch of snow expected, and those roads don't look good. We'll have an update for you when we come right back.
Hello, Mrs. Harris.
Thursdays on Fox, a new laugh out loud comedy. Sir, yes, sir. At your service.
I like this soldier. He just ran into a door. But at least he ran.
Welcome to Stroopstorm.
The hell is this?
Stroopstorm is known for cheese, laundry, and bowling.
You gotta be kidding me.
There's nothing wrong with Stroopstorm.
Really? Can you show me one thing that's right about this place? Nice.
Dennis Leary is Going Dutch. All new Thursdays on Fox and anytime on Hulu.
All right, I'm gonna change your world. Yeah. I love to root for great. Ooh. You want to root for the underdog? Good luck with that. It doesn't matter how many times I'm right, you'll still argue with me. This is The Herd.
Sports, culture, and comedy? Sounds like Ricky Cobb.
Maybe just from a size perspective, I would give him a problem.
The Ricky Cobb Show, daily on Outkick.com.
The reviews are in. First things first, is a hit. I'll go first. I watch every day. I love how insightful Chris and Nick are. Nick and Chris are great. My man. Brew, ha ha. Which is like a pun.
You guys write these?
What's wrong with them? Nick is right.
Oh, wow.
Nick, Brew, and Wild serve up a fresh daily dose of unscripted and unfiltered sports talk.
That one could be about me.
First things first, weekdays at 3 Eastern on FS1.
Are you guys ready for your first comic of the night?
Dr. Larson has no recollection of the last 8 years.
Doc is TV's next big medical drama.
I don't know what I did or who I am now.
And you can watch the riveting episodes anytime.
You can't leave her in the dark forever. No.
And every Tuesday,
Me and Amy were together. I want to tell her.
don't miss an all-new unforgettable episode.
I will be a doctor again.
Doc, all new Tuesdays on Fox and watch anytime on Hulu.
These celebrities need to ignore the fear, or this course will break them.
Yes, Seth. Yes, Seth.
Come on. Do you know where you are?
No, Seth.
You're in hell.
Special Forces, all new Wednesdays on Fox and watch anytime on Hulu.
Does your student loan payment make you cringe? We get it. Saying goodbye to that much money every month can be tough, but by refinancing to a lower rate through Credible.com, you could drastically cut your monthly payments. At Credible, you get personalized rates from multiple lenders, so it's easy to find the refi that puts the most cash back in your pocket. And life with extra cash is, well, extra. Visit Credible.com now to see your new monthly student loan payment. Student loan payment.
Right now on Fox Weather, a deadly winter storm stretching 1,500 miles is putting the Gulf Coast on rare alert. We are in rare, in some cases, all-time territory here. As this paralyzing storm lashes the south, it prompted the first ever Gulf Coast blizzard warning and is breaking snow records left and right. That's across multiple states. This ongoing historic and still highly dangerous system is dropping the heaviest snow in a lifetime from southeast Texas all the way across the deep south, right down to the Gulf Coast. Nearly a foot of snow has fallen in parts of Louisiana, making palm trees look more like Christmas trees. It's a bizarre scene. Travel has been snarled as whiteout conditions grind travel to a halt. Several major highways shut down as officials tell people to stay off the roads and stay home. Plus, intense and life-threatening cold will keep much of that snow and ice that falls right there on the ground. More than 100 million Americans will see the thermometer drop below zero. We'll show you when this Arctic air will finally start to retreat. It's all right now on Fox Weather Now. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for being here with us on Fox Weather. Right now, it's 5 o'clock on the East Coast, 2 p.m. out west. I'm Ian Oliver, and this is Fox Weather Now. This is an amazing afternoon, truly. We've been shattering records across the South, numbers that you kind of have to see to believe, to be honest, like this one right behind me. Lafayette, Louisiana is at 10.5 inches. New Orleans, Mid-City, a National Weather Service employee measured 9.5 inches of snow in New Orleans. The old record at New Orleans, their international airport, was 2.7. So that's why I'm saying we're in uncharted territory here. We've got our teams fanned out across the entire region, out on the ground in the midst of this historic storm. And we're going to show you more of these scenes as we move through the next several hours. We do want to break this down. We're getting some new information into Fox Weather. That is a live picture of Atlanta, 22 degrees. You're looking out at some of the snow that's on the ground. We wanted to hit this because the National Weather Service actually just upgraded the city of Atlanta into a winter storm warning, a fairly big expansion farther off to the north. We've been watching some of the snow fall in there through the afternoon, and you can see it on the ground, but this is what's new, and we wanted to bring this to your attention because they've said this, and this is relative. There's some regionality here. Heavy snow, additional accumulations of up to 1 inch, but we know what it looks like when there is any type of frozen precipitation in the city of Atlanta, and another inch on top of what we're seeing on the screen here could most certainly be problematic and dangerous as we move forward through what's left of this evening into the overnight, into the early part of the day tomorrow. That warning, by the way, runs through tomorrow morning. And you saw the temperature. It's 22 degrees in Atlanta right now, and we stay below freezing. So it will be quite slick first thing tomorrow, and then we'll eventually start getting into a bit of a freeze thaw like we've talked about farther off to the south and west. But look at these snow bands. You've got heavier snow being reported in Mobile. It's getting closer to the back edge of it in New Orleans, but it's been hours there in the Big Easy that we've been watching some of that. Mobile over to Pensacola and in through here. That snow was so intense, the Storm Prediction Center put out what we call a mezzo, basically a bulletin for this region. And you see it all the time on Fox Weather when we're talking about severe weather. They typically issue those when we have tornadic potential arising in a place. They issued it in this case down to the Gulf Coast for snow rates up to or exceeding 1 inch per hour. And we had said, if you were the all-time snow record in Florida, you should be awfully nervous today. That record has gotten blown out of the water. It was previously 4.0 inches, and a trained National Weather Service spotter, it was in Molino, 5.5 inches. Look what it looks like in Pensacola Beach. This is the beach. It's out onto the barrier island. The Gulf is probably less than a mile from this camera. Look at what it looks like in some of these beach towns. It is amazing to see the extent of the cold while being able to maintain enough moisture to produce snow rates like this. It's kind of a Goldilocks scenario from a meteorological sense, and you could go a lifetime and not see a scene like this. So that's why we said it's a very dangerous but also an amazing day with what we're watching playing out down south. Let's get you back to this live picture of New Orleans. And this has been one that's kind of hard to reconcile mentally as you look at the left side of the screen. You see those waves splashing up against the seawall. That's Lake Pontchartrain. You're on the southern shores of it right there, east of the causeway. You see the stress on the palm tree, and you've got wind-driven snow that's reducing our visibility of some of those palm trees off in the distance. We've got Fox weather correspondent Brandy Campbell, and New Orleans native, I should add, live there right now. And Brandy, that report just off to your north and west of 9.5 inches of snow, the visibility is still poor behind you. You are getting closer to the end of this, the back edge of that snow.
You know, I'm so sad. I don't even want to hear that it's going to end. I mean, for me, I'm just like, let it keep snowing. I don't want to stop experiencing this. It is so unusual for us here in New Orleans. When we hear of snow, one, you think immediately the city's going to shut down because we don't know how to act when there is snow. I mean, take a look at what it's like here in between the French Quarter and the CBD. This is Canal Street. The roads, they are completely white, covered in that snow. This is not an area where you would just see plow trucks coming up and down and clearing the roads, you know. So this is what we're seeing. If you're taking a look down right now, you can see there's a car that is actually stuck. And so that's why they want people to stay off of the roads, because you might end up in situations like that. It's obviously a smaller sedan lowered to the ground, so they're going to have those kinds of issues, unfortunately. And actually, we've gotten alerts on our phones, the emergency alerts, saying that they are seeing an increase in accidents around the state. So asking people to stay off of the road. And we know major interstates, they are closed down. Bridges, of course. You have the CCC, the Crescent City Connection, that takes you from this side of New Orleans over to the West Bank. You can't get over there. I have my uncle, he was on that side of the river yesterday, and they said they were going to come by my grandma's house and stay by her so they didn't get stuck over there. So that's what you're dealing with, those kind of precautions that are being put in place, because we just know if we come into this kind of scenario, all bets are off, and we'll just have to ride it out kind of like a hurricane and just see what happens. Outside of that, the snow impacting the roads and such, we have the winds. That's been an interesting factor in this, not one that I really even thought about coming into covering this, but you have the palm trees that line Canal Street or can be spotted throughout. And at times you can see the wind just really blowing them. And I'm not talking about hurricane force winds or anything, but there's a good breeze the higher up in elevation you go. And so they're accumulating snow, and at times you have chunks of that snow just falling off from the palm trees. So the winds, we've had gusts in the 30s and 40s depending on where you are in New Orleans. I know on the lakefront near Lake Pontchartrain, near the University of New Orleans, where I graduated from, they had some pretty intense winds over there. I wish we could get over there, but we're not going to risk it getting on the roads. We know it's not safe. And again, the most important factor right now, the snowfall. It's just not stopping. And Ian said it will come to an end soon, but we'll enjoy it while it's here as it continues to accumulate. I mean, on everything. Obviously, the streets, the sidewalks, I mean, the barricades that are right here, the Christmas lights that are still up on some of the trees here in the area. And so, again, with a reading, Ian mentioned 9.5 inches was recorded in Mid-City, not far from where we are right now. And just sticking it here in the ground, that's at 7 inches. You have the barricades right here. That's over 7 inches. So it's just an amazing thing to see. And obviously, folks, they are coming out. I met one guy dressed as Santa. I think that guy has a ski suit on. I think I saw a photo of him trying to ski through the French Quarter. I don't have to talk to him. But I also met some locals that live in the French Quarter getting their thoughts on this snowfall. Take a listen.
It's just such a magical moment for the city, and we're just out here enjoying the snow, and it feels kind of like Fat Tuesday, like we're just wandering around, enjoying the sights, and really taking it all in.
It's magical, as we say, and there's nothing like it. Welcome to New Orleans.
We're in another place in Colorado or something. It's just crazy.
And the beauty is we just had to walk outside.
That's all you have to do. Walk outside or look out the window if you're not a fan of the cold, because you're so used to the New Orleans heat. It is here. Hopefully, there we go. Hopefully it'll stick around. We got people just lollygancing and prancing out here in the snow. I see someone that's just making a snow angel, just really taking in this moment that can be so fun for us. many people in this city, especially the kids, they are seeing snow for the very first time in their lives. And not just any snow, but historical snow amounts here for the city of New Orleans. So a beautiful time to be here right now as the snow continues to come down, Ian.
Brandy, it's amazing. And you go back a couple days ago and you had temperatures up into the 70s. And now, as you just showed us, we had the snowman and we had the other tater tot looking thing with the Mardi Gras beads on it. It is an unbelievable scene in New Orleans. Brandy Campbell will be checking back in. Thank you. Just a reminder, 2.5 weeks out, that's looking out toward Bourbon Street. 2.5 weeks out. The 70s that I mentioned a couple days ago is what the NFL had in mind. That's the host city of Super Bowl 59 right here on Fox. That's coming up on February the 9th. And they'll only have to remember back 2.5 weeks for their all-time record snow. And as we talked about with Brandy, looking at radar, looks like they got maybe an hour and a half of this left to go. Let's go farther east, get a live view for you from Tallahassee, Florida. We've been watching those clouds around. We've been also keeping a close eye on the temperatures. Those have been dropping steadily over the past few hours. That's where we find Fox Weather meteorologist Steve Bender. He joins us live from Florida's capital. Steve, these pictures, I know you've been following along as you've been waiting for the onset of this just back to your west as I'm glancing down at the radar. But you've got places off to your west right there in Florida. You had played the sound from Governor DeSantis earlier. He said Florida had never had a snow like this. Well, now it's official. The all-time state record is broken.
Yeah, 5.5 inches right out of Molino, and that's about 3 hours to the west of us, 200 miles, and that's coming towards us. And Ian, this is just the beginning, by the way. So we just shattered a record, and now it's just like the opening quarter of this event. And we still have to go the distance for us. The beginning of this is coming in. We kind of had some sleet that fell earlier, so let's paint the picture for you. You'll notice Cascades Park behind us here, all the buildings. There's this kind of reduced visibility beyond that. That's showing you the onslaught. There is the American flag at the park. That has been blowing strong, and yet it hangs limp as of right now. I think this is truly embracing the calm before the storm. Now, what you'll notice is that these were ice pellets that were falling down, and then at the surface, it's now just that liquid water, of course, that's coating everything here, whether it's the grass, the amphitheater, the seats. And this is the recipe for Tallahassee, and the big concern. Yeah, we're expecting snow to fall on top of this, but you're going to have this thin layer of ice. And then let's talk about what we see as we go up the hill beyond that into those big pine trees. You have that Spanish moss. It is truly beautiful. It's incredible. And we were driving down some local streets, and by the way, all this area is shutting down. You can't find any food around, anything like that. But when you're driving through, you have those big Spanish oaks. They're draped over the roads, these massive branches that look like tree trunks themselves, and every foot is covered in that Spanish moss. Why do I keep bringing that up? Because that's going to get coated in ice. That's going to freeze overnight. And then you think about the weight of that falling over the roads or those power lines. That is the concern. Because we talk about the infrastructure, but the native species aren't built for this. We'll keep turning here. This kind of brought to my attention here. We have palm fronds, right? Those beautiful, iconic palm trees. Ian, I heard you off the top of the show. Hey, they don't look like palm trees. They look more like Christmas trees. But if you look at the palm fronds themselves, if all of those get coated in ice, the weight of that, I mean, there's no branch to support them. That's what makes them look beautiful. That's going to collapse. So it's even the native species and the trees that aren't built for this, and it's going to be a concern moving on forward. Now, for us, as I mentioned, we had a little brief burst of sleet for a moment, then it's kind of quieted down. When you look at radar, it really seems like it's about to hit right around 6 to 7 p.m. and then all the way through the overnight hours. Ian, I'll be anchoring the show from out here. I think it's going to look vastly different through the evening time, and we're going to talk about those impacts because we already got a state record under our belt, and I think we're going to be seeing more historic numbers for each individual city throughout this event as we progress through.
Yeah, Steve, you said it. You'll be taking us through this come the top of the hour, and I think right at the top of the hour, you're going to have a whole different scene playing out right behind you. So many folks have been describing this as magical and once in a lifetime, and that's definitely a fair way to describe it. But where you are with the mixed precipitation, there's more of the hazards, as you described, with some of that icing. So we'll be watching for that next several hours. Steve, we'll talk to you soon. Thank you. This historic snowstorm is bringing the heaviest snow in decades, or on record in a lot of spots, for millions of people down across the south, the southeast. Many are taking advantage, like this person, doing some kayaking. Powered by Ford, it looks like. Yeah, it's an F-150 powered kayak. You almost never see that. You got to take it slow. If you're in the neighborhood, you're probably safe. That's Springfield, Louisiana. At a slow rate of speed. The issue is that these roads will be very slick as we move through the evening, the overnight. The Arctic air is taken over, and with that, we've got days of a freeze-thaw cycle to keep in mind. It's a dangerous storm. Don't let your guard down. If you head out, if you can, just stay home. Watch these scenes from out the window or right here on Fox Weather. Definitely a safer way to go about it. More Fox Weather coming up after the break. Stay with us.
If your car 30 degrees occurred at 12:54 p.m. The normal high is 54. The record high is 76 degrees, which was set in 1927. Today's low temperature of 20 degrees occurred at 3:32 a.m. The normal low is 35. The record low is -8 degrees, which was set in 1985. A trace of precipitation fell today, which brings the monthly total to 2.20 inches. This is 0.88 inches below the normal amount of 3.08 inches for January. The total precipitation for the year now stands at 2.2.
Look at your screen. A water main break in South Fulton County right now has things at a standstill. This is Hunter Road and South Fulton Parkway. Now, the water main break is actually on Commerce, but guess what? It's causing ice all the way around that area. So cars had been sliding all over the place. This is a live look. Atlanta Watershed is working to shut off the water, but we're told that ice is so dangerous, people are just being asked to stop. So if you've got loved ones traveling from that area, you might want to tell them to find another route.
A winter weather alert's what's happening right now. Storm Tracker 2 HD radar shows where it's snowing still right now. Chief Meteorologist Brad Nitz is tracking it for us in Severe Weather Center 2 in the next 15 minutes. Meanwhile, DeKalb County's preparation has been different than the last storm. They added some new elements to make sure they can battle icy roads with temperatures lower than what they're used to. Channel 2's Taisha Fernandez continues her live Severe Weather Team 2 coverage now. You're on Memorial Drive there, right near 285, Taisha, and the snow's still coming down where you are.
George, it's been snowing here for about 2 hours. It started out as flurries, but it's been coming down pretty good for the last 90 minutes. But just like many other places in the metro, the snow here in DeKalb is like a pretty powdery substance. Look at this. It's nothing. Nothing. There's no ice underneath here. And take a look at this. Even this bush can't hold it. It's pretty light snow. Today we ran into some folks who thought they could run some errands while they were out of school and off work, but they quickly learned that the county here in DeKalb is pretty shut down for the day.
I just came here to get my tag renewed because my birthday's at the end of the month.
Hallie Schmidt is a teacher in DeKalb County, and since schools are closed on this snowy Tuesday, she thought she could get her tags renewed before the snowstorm started. But she and many others learned the doors were locked at all these offices on Memorial Drive. What did you come here for today?
To get a handicap sticker for my car because I have a bad back and it's hard for me to walk.
County workers are staying safe at home and off the roads, which is exactly what county officials need so that these work crews can constantly put down salt, sand, and calcium chloride on the roads. Hallie was just a kid in 2014 when Snowmageddon trapped people in their homes and on the roads.
As I remember, my parents couldn't drive anywhere for quite a few days, so I really hope that this doesn't happen this time.
The DeKalb County Public Works Department added this ice melting compound to the mix to make sure that doesn't happen this time or ever again. I want to show you just how prepared DeKalb is. This is their surplus barn with plenty of salt and sand just in case they need more than expected.
If it's something that's going to improve something, then I'd be all for it. But if it's going to cost money, that's not good either because I'm broke, you know.
All right, so this is a live look at I-285 right here, right before you reach the Memorial Drive exit. And as we've been telling you all for the last couple of days, stay off the roads. It looked like some people just had to be on the roads, but at least we know DeKalb County was prepared and there's no ice underneath there, at least for right now, but stay at home if you can. We are live here in DeKalb County on Memorial Drive. Taisha Fernandez, Channel 2 Action News.
Yes, because Taisha, as you pointed out, fluffy doesn't stick right now, but again, it's going to get colder, so people need to be careful. Thank you.
Well, thousands of University of Georgia students got word that all classes and activities have been canceled this afternoon due to this winter storm. Our live Severe Weather Team 2 coverage continues now with Channel 2's Tom Regan on the campus in Athens. And Tom, the university made that call to keep students and faculty off the roads and safe.
Yeah, Karen, as you can see, it is snowing here on the UGA campus, has been for the last hour or so, creating a picturesque scene. You can see how it's sticking to the sidewalks, to the bushes here, to the grass. And normally the campus and these adjoining streets you see over here would be bustling with students, but because of the cancellation of classes and this little winter storm, it's pretty quiet right now.
Maybe it's probably best to play it safe. This is the deep south, so we don't really do well in the snow.
Many UGA students say they were caught off guard when they got emails late Tuesday morning saying the university had canceled all campus classes, events, and activities starting at 2 p.m.
Personally do think that it was the right decision just because, you know, with so much going on recently.
I think it probably should have happened earlier because they just emailed us a couple hours beforehand, and teachers did not really have time to put any effort into making any new plans or anything.
The university, which hosts more than 37,000 students on its Athens campus, canceled classes earlier this month when another winter storm dumped snow and ice in North Georgia on January 9th and 10th.
I think campus safety is of the utmost importance, especially for UGA's campus. I know they prioritize that, so I think this was the right decision they made.
The university said residents and dining halls would remain open and essential staff would continue to work unless weather made travel unsafe. Some students told us even though classes were canceled, they would continue with their group studies into the evening.
I mean, I don't really
I'm
have
not too fazed
an
by
opinion on it. Like, I'll just continue doing my work anyway. So.
Yeah.
And take a look at this. Some creative, inspired UGA students built this little mini snowman, complete with the carrot nose there. I guess there's not enough snow yet to build a regular-sized snowman. UGA administrators say they'll continue to monitor weather conditions and have an update either late tonight or tomorrow on what they plan to do on campus here on Wednesday. Live in downtown Athens, Tom Regan, Channel 2 Action News.
You can see people walking behind you. Folks forget, the kids have to travel to and from classes, so it could get slippery. Tom, thanks.
Our live Severe Weather Team 2 coverage continues now with Severe Weather Team 2 meteorologist Ebony Dion live in Severe Weather Chaser 2. It's in Fairburn right now. What are you seeing out there? I see some cars kind of moving very slowly around you.
And we are definitely needing to take it easy out here. We've seen several cars kind of slipping out here. I do want to show you what we're seeing now. The snow is finally starting to taper off, and with the lighter snow that's coming down, but the highly trafficked areas, it's melting. So we're seeing wet conditions out on the roadways, and especially going into businesses and parking lots, it's become very slushy. So that, of course, will be refreezing overnight tonight, and that's what's going to be cause for concern traveling out tomorrow morning with the icy conditions. But right now, the roads here in Fairburn are wet and again slick in spots, and although visibilities have really improved, it's really the road conditions that are going to be very hazardous. So take it easy. If you don't have to get out on the roads, that's probably your best bet. But as you can see right now, it looks like the snow is finally tapering off, and we're seeing that kind of ending here in Fairburn. And Severe Weather Chaser 2, Severe Weather Team 2 meteorologist Ebony Dion.
Georgia Power has its response center full and ready to dispatch those areas hit hardest by power outages. How they plan to react.
And other news now, the trial getting underway today for the former Georgia District Attorney charged with illegally interfering in the investigation into the death of Ahmaud Arbery. We break down what happened in court.
If we weren't proud of the craftsmanship and level of detail that go into every pair of Warby Parker glasses, well, we probably wouldn't show you how they're made, including this part, which is our favorite. Wow. And this is also great. Each pair comes standard with lenses that are scratch resistant, anti-reflective, and UV protective. Try 5 pairs for free at warbyparker.com. If we weren't proud of the craftsmanship and level of detail that go into every pair of Warby Parker glasses, well, we probably wouldn't show you how they're made, including this part, which is our favorite. Wow. And this is also great. Each pair comes standard with lenses that are scratch-resistant, anti-reflective, and UV protective. Try 5 pairs for free at warbyparker.com. If we weren't proud of the craftsmanship and level of detail that go into every pair of Warby Parker glasses, well, we probably wouldn't show you how they're made, including this part, which is our favorite. Wow. And this is also great. For every pair of glasses or sunglasses sold, a pair of glasses is distributed to someone in need. Try 5 pairs for free at warbyparker.com.
All right, so that's 1 pair of glasses. Yep. With prescription lenses, plus anti-reflective lens coating.
Oh.
Scratch-resistant coating.
Did I choose?
UV protection. Award-winning customer service.
That's me.
That's also me. Free returns, free exchanges, and free frame adjustments for life.
And how much more is that?
Oh, it's all included at Warby Parker.
So my glasses
are still just $95.
Oh.
Surprise! I just get excited.
This is Local. Channel 2 Action News. We're always live.
Breaking the big story.
Right this second here in Winder, we are working multiple sources trying to figure out.
Here in Alpharetta, we have a new angle you need to hear.
We're talking with people who really know the Swanee neighborhood.
What do you want done? In McDonough, you can only get this perspective from Newsroom 2.
Happening now in Powder Springs as we get word of a developing situation.
It's about you, your neighborhood.
See what's new. Channel 2 Action News, live at 4, 5, and 6.
So one of the things I actually appreciate about Delta Community is those personal loans. The interest rates are so low.
In winter weather, safety officials really want you to stay off the roads. Black ice can be invisible against the pavement. We talked to AAA about what you should look out for.
You may start to see a little glitter. It looks like maybe glitter on the road. It's very important for drivers to adjust your speed. When you are driving in these type of conditions, and especially driving on ice, in order to be safe, you must drive slowly.
And this is very important. Listen up. If you hit a slippery spot, AAA says do not slam on your brakes. And if you start to skid, steer in the direction of that skid. Then you tap your brakes. If you've not yet downloaded the free Severe Weather Team 2 app, now would be a great time to do so as we track the winter weather for you. Just search WSB TV in your app store.
Tracking the back edge of the snow now, which has moved south and east of Atlanta. So the snow has come to an end to the north and west, but continues to accumulate south and east. Your hour-by-hour look at the forecast as it moves out. The impacts coming up next.
The winter weather taking a toll on operations at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International. The situation at the world's busiest airport.
Even with temperatures below freezing, there are things you could do right now to protect your home, to keep your pipes from bursting.
We're also staying on top of breaking news. South Fulton County, there's a water main break. It's affected traffic. The intersection of Hunter Road and South Fulton Parkway. You can see cars trying to navigate that intersection, really backed up there, causing ice on the pavement. Cars sliding all over the place. Our live Severe Weather Team 2 coverage continues after the break.
Elevate your workspace with the Lightning Desk Mat, a multifunctional tool to enhance your computing experience. Surrounded by LED ambient lighting, including a wireless charging station with a silky smooth surface that's waterproof, functional, and elegant. The Lightning Mat is the ultimate desktop accessory. Scan the code to light up your workspace today with the Lightning Mat. Available now.
This is local. Channel 2 Action News. We're always live.
Breaking the big story.
Right the second here in Winder, we are working multiple sources trying to figure out.
Here in Alpharetta, we have a new angle you need to hear.
We're talking with people who really know the Swanee neighborhood. What do you want done?
In McDonough, you can only get this perspective from Newsroom 2.
Happening now in Powder Springs as we get word of a developing situation.
It's about you, your neighborhood.
See what's new. Channel 2 Action News, live at 4, 5, and 6.
So one of the things I actually appreciate about Delta Community is those personal loans. The interest rates are so low that we're able to explore options. In fact, we're about to put down our deposit for a cruise. You got your housing, you got some pretty decent food. It's a nice little way to bundle up family time. The kind of products I have with Delta Community include financing for both of my vehicles, the Visa Platinum credit card. Having everything bundled up just makes convenience unreal. It's like a no-brainer.
To a kid struggling to stay focused in school and never miss practice, a good meal makes all the difference in what kind of tears are shed.
Thank you.
Our live Severe Weather Team 2 coverage begins this half hour with the latest school changes newly added in the last 10 minutes. Atlanta Public Schools, Griffin, Spalding, along with Jackson and Barrow County schools closed. They join the other counties you see right here in red on this map, so look at your screen.
Also just in now, Fulton, Gwinnett, DeKalb, and Clayton County schools have decided they're going to go virtual tomorrow. Decatur City schools also going virtual, and some schools are delayed, including Gordon, Floyd, and Rome City schools. We have a list scrolling here at the bottom of your screen, also on our website, constantly updating it, WSBTV.com.
Now, meteorologist Brian Monahan is still here from early this morning, along with Chief Meteorologist Brad Nitz. Let's start our Severe Weather Team 2 coverage with Brad in Severe Weather Center 2.
Yeah, Brian and I have been here together tracking this since Channel 2 Action News at noon, and we're going to take you right through it. Here's a live look over Midtown. Here's what I want to point out. Change in the last few minutes. The snow has come to an end in Atlanta, and that's it for the city. It's moved out, but it has left up to an inch in some spots, most of the city a little under an inch. But untreated surfaces, you see here in the rooftops, some of the secondary roads are covered with snow. Here's Storm Tracker 2 HD, very cold. Whatever has fallen will not melt, except for treated roads, and of course where they plow it, we can get it clear. But the snow that's on the ground is going to stay frozen into tomorrow. So you see the back edge of the snow has been moving steadily to the south and east, but down towards LaGrange, Griffin, east towards Athens and Eatonton, still snowing for you and will continue over the next few hours. Let me come in a little bit closer. We're going to put this into motion. You can see that back edge moving out. So for the last couple of hours, we've been tracking the snow coming in and accumulating. Over the next couple of hours, we'll be tracking it coming to an end from west to east, but still some accumulation here. Griffin, Barnesville, Thomaston, McDonough off towards Covington over the next hour or so. Snowfall totals, continue to estimate those with radar. Coming up over an inch, 1.7 in Meriwether County. You recall our forecast was for, in general, 1 to 2 inches in this area. We're in that range now, and I expect some spots will get close to 2 inches before this moves out. Also notice northern western metro, that sharp drop-off that we expected, so no snow to the north and west of that. But these conditions, combined with the very cold temperatures, have made for treacherous travel, as we've been showing you. And so we have a winter storm warning here in pink for most of metro Atlanta to the south and east for very dangerous travel. Winter weather advisory was expanded to the north and west, but I want to point out little to no impact here to the north and west because it hasn't even snowed in these locations. And you recall, let me show you on the radar again, as we look at the road temperatures below freezing. There's no snow here. There's none to come. So that's the bottom line, is dangerous travel for the metro where the snow has fallen. To the north and west where it has not fallen, it's going to be cold for sure, but the snow moving away. So here's what we can expect. Over the next couple of hours, between 7 and 6, snow tapering off across the south metro. Temperatures staying solidly in the low to mid-20s through 11. Then overnight and into the morning hours, we're headed down into the teens under a clearing sky. So that means anything snowy and icy this afternoon and evening will be snowy and icy tomorrow morning. We don't even get above freezing until after 1 p.m. That'll be 65 consecutive hours below the freezing mark. That long duration freeze is going to have some impacts as well. Meteorologist Brian Monahan is going to take us through that now.
Yeah, Brad, and those very cold temperatures tomorrow morning, something, of course, we're going to be following tomorrow morning on Channel 2 Action News this morning. That starts, of course, at 4:30. Let's go through some of the impacts, though, continuing here over the next couple of hours. Also want to point out with the slick pavement out there, continuing to see incidents out there on the roads. A hilly section of North Druid Hills. Want to pass this along near Willoughby Drive. Several cars look like they have slid there on the roads, and that's going to be the case out there with the light snow tapering off over the next couple of hours. That very cold air and cold pavement, the roads are quickly deteriorating across North Georgia and Metro Atlanta. Stay off the roads. Where you are right now, best idea, stay where you are tonight. If you can work from home tomorrow, great idea to do that and just give the time for the roads to thaw out and that ice to melt, because they will stay frozen overnight with impacts for tomorrow's commute. Now, the cold weather is going to start to ease its grip after tomorrow, after Thursday morning. That Arctic air begins to lift out. So by Friday, we're warming up into the 40s across North Georgia. And by the weekend, it is noticeably milder with temperatures climbing into the 50s. Some rain in the forecast by the time we hit Sunday. Let's take a look at your 5-day forecast now. The weekend always in view for you. For tomorrow, 37 the high. So there will be some limited melting for the afternoon, but not a whole lot, because we're going to start down in the teens in the morning at 16 degrees. By Thursday morning, 23. So whatever freezes or thaws limitedly on Wednesday, it's going to freeze right back up Wednesday night and into Thursday morning with lows down at 23, but above freezing by Thursday afternoon at 41, 42 on Friday afternoon. And then by the weekend, here's your weekend always in view, finally thawing out. We're going to have temperatures up near 50 degrees as we head toward Friday afternoon, or rather Saturday afternoon, mostly sunny sky. And then Sunday, we're in the low to mid 50s for highs. We're going to start in the 20s in the morning, but we do have some wet weather moving in, some rain moving in as we head towards Sunday, but trending toward a thaw after we pass about Thursday morning, something we'll be following as we head through the next few days. And another update of Storm Tracker 2 HD is just ahead.
Brad, Brian, thank you. Here's a live look at conditions at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. Earlier, the Federal Aviation Administration announced a big ground stop.
All this stuff is affecting the flights. FlightAware says departure delays are at 47 minutes and increasing. Incoming flights are just under 90 minutes behind.
Channel 2's Richard Elliott and his photographer returned to Hartsfield-Jackson today after covering the inauguration in Washington, D.C. Here's their update from the airport.
We just landed here at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport a few minutes ago from being in Washington, D.C. to cover the inauguration, where we saw bitter cold and snow and ice and sleet, getting ready to see the same thing here in Atlanta. We've come through the airport as we landed, came to get our baggage. A lot of people. It's very busy here. Of course, there's a lot of people from Ohio State, a lot of people here from Notre Dame for the national championship game, and just your everyday travelers as well. This is a TSA checkpoint off the main terminal. It's not too busy right now, and that's a very good thing. But we are expecting to see more delays as snow, sleet, freezing rain continues throughout the afternoon. We have seen more than 170 delays so far at Hartsfield-Jackson, 170 cancellations or so. Again, we expect to see more as potential snow event happens. But again, right now here at Hartsfield-Jackson, TSA lines are open, moving very quickly, and that's a good thing to see. We are at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. Richard Elliott, Channel 2 Action News.
That's the best it's looked all day. Our live Severe Weather Team 2 coverage continues as Metro residents and Georgia agencies prepare and cope with the winter storm.
We have done what we can in efforts to get ahead of this very large, impactful potential for winter weather.
A growing threat as temperatures and snow continue to fall. That's ahead in a live report.
And we're tagging along with repair crews as the deep freeze hits. What you need to do to protect your pipes.
And the weather's impacting jury selection in the trial of a former Georgia district attorney. State prosecutors say she tried to delay arrests in the murder of Ahmaud Arbery. New information next.
Stories that matter to Alpharetta are on Channel 2 Action News.
Stay tuned for a special free offer from Flash Force Tactical Flashlight. With its powerful telescopic zoom, the Flash Force Tactical Flashlight gives you a super bright light visible at a distance of over 2,000 meters. With 7 useful modes, plus a USB rechargeable battery, the Flash Force Tactical Flashlight is always ready to light up the night. And if you scan the code on your screen and order right now, we'll send you a second Flash Force Tactical Flashlight absolutely free. Hurry, this is a limited time offer. Scan the code on your screen to order now.
This is local. Channel 2 Action News. We're always live.
Breaking the big story.
Right the second here in Winder, we are working multiple sources trying to figure out.
Here in Alpharetta, we have a new angle you need to hear.
We're talking with people who really know the Swanee neighborhood. What do you want done?
In McDonald.
Lower 20s. Light northwest winds. And now the extended forecast. Friday and Friday night, mostly clear. Highs in the lower 40s. Lows in the lower 20s. Saturday and Saturday night, partly cloudy. Highs in the upper 40s. Lows in the mid-20s. Sunday through Monday night, mostly cloudy with a 40% chance of showers. Highs in the lower 50s. Lows in the mid-30s. Tuesday and Tuesday night, partly cloudy. Highs in the lower 50s. Lows in the lower 30s. For more detailed weather, water, and climate information, please visit our website at weather.gov/Atlanta. This is NOAA Weather Radio Station, KEC 80. This broadcast originates from the National Weather Service office in Peachtree City and is transmitted from the top of Stone Mountain on a frequency of 162.55 megahertz. The KEC 80 listening area includes the following counties: Cherokee, Clayton, Cobb, DeKalb, Douglas, Fayette, Forsyth, Fulton, Gwinnett, Henry, Newton, Rockdale, and Walton.
Arnold, we've been hearing from NOPD, DOTD telling, look, it's best that you stay home right now. Do not drive on the roadways. If you want to come out in the snow, peer out the window. That's probably the safest and most comfortable way to enjoy the snow here in New Orleans. Again, really hasn't happened for 100 years, and it is insane to really see this. Even Dylan tries to make his way through. But, you know, we're creeping up on O'Keefe right now, and it is just dead quiet. And, you know, I was hearing Lucy Bustamante throughout the morning programming, and just her saying a little bit about how quiet it gets after snowfall. And, you know, I'm starting to understand that as I'm trying to make my way through the snow. And it is just dead quiet, even when there's cars around, right? Like we just saw that white van, the Cybertruck that just passed us. And, you know, it's just quiet as all can be. And I'm with my photographer, Dylan. And it's like you can't even hear, you know? And it's just kind of crazy. Never really experienced it. Never thought I would experience it, right? So we kind of make our way. I was hoping maybe we could talk to some people. It looks like we got some people over here closer to Johnny Sanchez. Maybe we'll hit him up real quick. But guys, you know, these are apartments right here, right off Poydras. This is a parking lot right off Poydras, and there's at least 5 inches, 6 inches of snow just right over here. So it is a crazy sight to see. We're going to be live all throughout the CBD, downtown New Orleans, and the French Quarter, all throughout the Fox 8 newscast. But for now, I'm putting live here on Poydras. Andres Fuentes, Fox 8 Local First.
All right, thanks, Andres. Still something to see, you know, and we may continue to see it, even though it's really whipping up on the lakefront, as we mentioned, about an hour or so. Yeah. And this should wind down in the city. Be a little later if you're obviously to the southeast.
You know, it's so interesting, obviously, seeing snow all over the region, but some of the most dramatic images we've seen today, John, have been from Grand Isle. I mean, just the juxtaposition of you've got the snow covering the beach, and then you've got the Gulf right there. You can see the wind just whipping the water in the Gulf of Mexico. That's where our Sean Fazan spent the day.
Thank you very much, guys. You know, we were the last ones to get the snow down here in Grand Isle. Let me just tell you, over the last few hours, it has really, really picked up. Just look at the picture around me. It is a sea of white down here in Grand Isle. Usually, when you talk about storms, the kind of storms that we're used to down here in southeast Louisiana, this is the area that gets it first. Well, in this situation, the snowstorm came, and we were the ones down here to get it last. I am now kind of in a, like I said before, a sea of white. It has really, really come on over the last few hours. We got the snow around 9:45, 10 a.m., which was the last section, as I said, and then it just steadily accumulated. We talked to the mayor. We talked to the police chief a few hours ago. The bridge getting into Grand Isle has been shut off. This highway, Highway 1 behind me, supposed to be closed. We've only seen 1 or 2 or even 3, maybe 4 cars pass by over the last 4-5 hours. So mostly everyone here is staying indoors. This is not a heavily populated area to begin with, so not a whole lot of running around, not a whole lot of people outside doing anything, but just kind of give you an idea of kind of what we're dealing with. Again, this is something this area has not seen. The mayor told me since 1989, but just to kind of give you an idea, this is kind of a little parking cone meter here, and just, I mean, look at how deep the ice has gotten down here in Grand Isle and the snow. I mean, that's quite a hole right there. So you can be the judge in terms of how many inches that is. I'm going to walk on over here. Where I'm standing right here is the highway. I'm going to clear it out. This is the street right here. Again, we saw a car about an hour ago, but really no one driving down these streets right here, right now. And rightfully so. While it's fun to play in the snow, driving right here, right now would be obviously very, very dangerous. So things have really picked up out here. One thing in particular, I don't know if it's because we're close to the Gulf or whatever the case may be, very, very windy. Just over the last couple of hours, it's really picked up from a wind gust standpoint, which obviously is another thing to deal with when you're dealing with all this snow. But right here, right now, everyone in Grand Isle just kind of waiting it out, seeing what's going to happen, and hopefully they'll enjoy it for the next few hours, and at some point things will dry out and we'll see what happens from there. But so far, pretty empty, pretty quiet, but also pretty white from all the snow that's accumulated over the last couple of hours. So it's been quite a day down here in Grand Isle. Reporting from Grand Isle, I'm Sean Fazan for Fox 8 Local First. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Sean. Some just absolutely incredible images there from Grand Isle. Well, our Bruce Katz has had an unbelievable ride with a snowplow this afternoon, getting a live look at the snowplows that came in from Indiana and how they're working to clear the streets in New Orleans. Bruce, I mean, this is an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at this unbelievable work going on.
It really is, and I'll tell you, it's amazing. I mean, naturally, being from New Orleans, I've never been in a snowplow. On top of that, the first time in history that we're plowing streets in New Orleans. I mean, we're witnessing history here where we've never had to do this. Now, we have been onto North Broad, South Broad, Tulane Avenue, parts of Airline Highway, the Crescent City Connection, General de Gaulle. Now we're on South Claiborne. South Claiborne right now at Carrollton. We took a right. Now we're heading back toward the city itself, heading back towards, say, Yeoman Stadium to get your bearings towards, Tulane that way. And the plows have been doing an amazing job. I mean, they go in tandem and they basically scrape the snow to one side of the actual street. The other one picks it up, tosses it further. The other one picks it up and then tosses it basically onto the side where the neutral ground would be. So basically every sweep we do of a street is basically cleared up. So as we are now heading down Claiborne, we're approaching Yeoman Stadium toward Tulane, toward Calhoun. We're going to be approaching Napoleon. This area here is being plowed, and really with just one sweep, it's pretty much clear. So it's unbelievable how these snowplows are such a amazing tool. And, I was talking to, our driver, and he was saying that when people look at these machines, they think they're just kind of like crazy machines. And it's funny, we've been passing people, they want us to honk the horn, they're waving, they're cheering us on. I mean, we feel like rock stars here, don't we?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. It's, I've done a lot of snow plowing in the South, believe it or not, and I always kind of joke around that, people look at us and pick up trucks with big plows and big salt sanders, and they think, that we're driving a spaceship or something. And especially down here today, like you said, I mean, there's people lining the streets just to see what we're doing.
Well, there are a couple of people that are, just taking pictures. I mean, look how deep this snow is. And, I'll tell you, I am just amazed here at the snow depth, where we are pushing about a foot of snow off to the side of the street, where some areas are almost 2 feet of snow on the side, where, you would look at a snow drift, but this is actually the plow that's pushing all this snow to the side. So I guess the rule is you all have a map plan to go around some of the major arteries. Right now we're heading toward, I guess, the Ochsner Baptist Hospital, heading toward from Claiborne all the way down toward Napoleon, where to kind of clear the roadways. But there really is a method to the madness, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. No, we're working with city officials closely to determine priority roads, new accesses that need granted, and then also working with first responders as well, trying to open up some of these fire stations. I just saw one of our plows back at a firehouse just a few minutes ago, working on opening that up for them. And then we've also told the city that, hey, if there are emergency calls and, first responders need an escort, we'd be happy to do that for them.
Right. So you all have radios that you all talk and communicate with, and sometimes you have to back off the microphone for TV to do that. But we just passed Tulane, Yeoman Stadium, and now we're continuing on. We are approaching Napoleon right now. We're passing Calhoun as we speak, and I mean the snow on the neutral ground is just incredible. The snow depths that we've seen, up to 6 to 8, up to 10, even I would say isolated up to a foot of snow. We see some students here walking on the side right. I mean, they're kicking up snow probably 7-8 inches from the bottom of their feet to the ground itself. So as you all continue to plow, the snow that you all plow just basically sits there. Is that right?
Yeah. No, we're going to push all the snow we can into the medians along the sides of the road. And yeah, that'll sit there. Good news is, by the end of the week, we should be back to well above freezing around the area, and then that's going to help greatly to get rid of this snow once and for all once that happens.
Right. So right now we are on Claiborne. That was Nashville that we just passed, just to help our viewers get their bearings now, because, with all the snow on the ground, it's hard to get your bearings. Everything looks the same. It's all white. I mean, the houses and, even major landmarks at this point. So, we're kind of relying on some of those street signs to get us through that as well. So 14 snowplows, the size of the city, and I'm sure when you sat down with the emergency managers, you looked at the size of the city, some of the major arteries themselves. Is 14 trucks enough, or potentially we may get more?
Yeah, so, 14 is enough to, again, open things up to start working on it. However, there's a lot of side streets, just, New Orleans is a big city. So to get everything back in order, maybe we do need to bring in some additional resources.
Sure.
But considering that, there wasn't much of an alternative, I'd say our 14 trucks are doing a pretty good job right now.
No, they certainly are. I mean, I am very impressed. And like I said, I've never been in a snowplow. New Orleans has never seen a snowplow per se. And the fact that we're watching this and we're just watching history with enough snow to actually call in contractors with snowplows to come and do it is amazing. So we are now approaching Ochsner Baptist, coming in toward the area of Napoleon. We just crossed Jefferson. We are at Upper Line right now. So as we move forward, we're working toward the city on Claiborne. We did quite a bit of Carrollton Avenue. We did quite a bit toward Airline. Now we did turn around at the JP line as we went over the overpass that you would come on from basically Airline approaching, let's say, Carrollton Avenue. So we went over that. We went into Metairie. We did maybe about a 1/10 of a mile in JP and turned back around. So now, as we were on Claiborne, we're going to be making a right, in fact, the way it looks, onto Jefferson. And likely it is because it is Ochsner Baptist Hospital. So passing Jefferson, now we're coming up toward Napoleon, and it looks like we're going to make that right. Is that correct?
Yeah. Look.
All right, the shot has frozen up just a little bit.
I think,
there we are. Let's go back.
Getting on these hospitals and fire stations, is probably the new priority as we're able to open up some of these arteries.
Got you. So as we come on down now, we're on Napoleon Avenue, and we are literally passing Ochsner Baptist right now to clear the roadways for some of the emergency lanes, some of ambulance service or police service that may need to get in. So that's really the priority, to get to these areas that are high importance. Hospitals, as you mentioned, fire stations, things of those natures that you have to get out in. It's easier access, because driving through this without a snowplow, we've seen many cars already get stuck.
Many. And, it's just when the officials say stay off the road, it's usually for a reason.
Absolutely.
And this type of weather event, especially for folks who aren't used to driving in this type of snow, it can be really, really challenging, and you can end up stuck really quick. And if you don't have a shovel or a way to get yourself out, you're going to be sitting for a while.
No, absolutely. If you don't have to get out, do not do it. We've seen several cars, especially front-wheel drive cars, they're just spinning out their tires. They're trying to go through a street, not over the actual neutral ground, but where the plows have done their job, they're trying to cross over, and they're going into 7 to 10 inches of snow, and they're getting stuck. So at this point, if you don't have to travel, I would certainly stay put. So we're making a U-turn now, coming back onto Napoleon Avenue, across from Ochsner Baptist now, making our way back toward Claiborne Avenue. It's amazing how these streets just get cleaned. 3 plows and you work in tandem, and everything pretty much is clear. Well, these poor cars here on the right, they're going to get a lot of snow on them.
Yeah, you feel bad about that sometimes, but you just don't have another option,
No, absolutely. So when it comes down to it, we are continuing to move on. Right now, we are again approaching right there in Claiborne, and really, I guess we're doing zigzags around the city, just from the map that the city wants you to do as priority. Is that correct?
Yeah. We're just trying to make passes through, open things up. Again, people are out and need to go somewhere in emergency. We're trying to open these roads to make that happen, so that people can get, to the hospital, to the pharmacy, whatever they might need. We're trying to open it up for them.
Sure. So how long have you been doing this? How long have you been driving snowplows?
So I have been working in the snow and ice industry for just about 7 years.
Okay.
I've worked for a few larger commercial snow and ice management companies that manage commercial portfolios all over the country.
Right.
I hold the 2 highest designations from the Snow and Ice Management Association.
Which is important.
Yeah, that's a certified snow professional and the advanced snow manager. And then also I've, I am a consultant in this industry, so I, work with, snow and ice providers like Sherco, to help them make sure they're doing, the job the best they can, that they know, just all the resources out there and available, and just trying to do things up to industry standard, and working with them very closely with that.
Absolutely. So, as we, wind up the interview here, in your wildest dreams, did you ever think you would be called to New Orleans, Louisiana to do this?
No. Again, I just, the Gulf Coast and snow, it doesn't sound right. And, getting down here and actually seeing that the forecast was right and all this came to fruition is just pretty crazy. And hopefully everyone down here is able to enjoy this snow and it won't stay around all that long. But again, definitely a once in a generation type thing.
Absolutely. Well, we really appreciate the ride with you. Again, it's amazing to be able to show the viewers of New Orleans how their streets are getting cleared, and thanks to you guys and your team for coming down. John and Meg, I don't know real quick if you have any questions or not, but we're going to wrap it up here and head back to the station, but this has been a minute. I mean, just amazing ride.
It's been quite a ride. Just tell Levi, one of our viewer emails was praising your coverage, Bruce, and Levi the man.
Yeah, Levi is the man, I think it says.
He's a pretty popular guy, the man of the hour, Levi.
Levi is the man. I'll tell you, I'm going to tell them, Levi, you are the man. That's what they're saying. So,
Appreciate
all right, guys,
Thank you.
I'm going to wrap this up. We've got some great video again. It's historical. Never have we had snowplows in the city of New Orleans.
The first ever use of a snowplow, according to the city, in history. All right, thanks, Bruce.
We'll be right back. Stay with us.
For the ones ensuring the job always gets done, and the ones wearing many hats, Grainger offers professional-grade industrial supplies and real-time product availability. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You work hard, day after day, week after week, and you make things work. You deserve a mobile bank that will go to work for you, with up to $200 in overdraft protection. Early paydays, and building your credit the right way. Make your dreams real. GoToBank, the mobile bank that works for you. Open an account at gotobank.com or get a card today at a retail store near you.
For the ones who know safety isn't a catchphrase, it's a culture. And the ones who help make sure everyone makes it home safe. For the safety-minded who watch everyone's backs, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as safety assessments and training to keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Now, from New Orleans' most watched news, Fox 8 Local First starts now.
A live look at the Mandeville Lakefront as we are just under a half an hour away from the sunset. Could have one as it looks, and wouldn't that be a cap on what has been, according to the state climatologist, a top 2 or 3 snow event in Louisiana history. Governor Landry announcing a couple hours ago that state offices will be closed through Thursday. He says we have gone through the winter wonderland aspect of this story, but there's more to come and things could get dangerous, of the potential for freezing pipes and lots of other issues. Good evening, I'm John Snell.
And I'm Meg Gatto. We've heard from people all over the viewing area today enjoying the snow, having so much fun out there. But as we know, the other shoe is to drop with the potential for freezing on area roadways. Our Garland Gillen is uptown. He had the very tough assignment today of talking to people who were snowboarding on St. Charles Avenue and just enjoying this time out in the snow.
If you've watched my stories today, you've seen Tulane kids running shirtless in Audubon Park. They had a kid snowboarding on the avenue, even had a skier on the Mississippi River levee. So after a long day of running, skiing, and snowboarding, where else are you going to finish it? At the boot. I got a Tulane student right here, no class right now. So this has got to be the move, right?
Yeah. We just went spike balling before this. We're just here to chill and maybe darty.
Is the whole school here right now? I feel like the entire student body is at this bar right now.
A good amount of people because, no class you got to go to the boot. But I feel like a lot of people are also staying in.
What part of the country are you from?
I'm from D.C., East Coast.
So are you blown away how everybody in the South is like losing their minds right now about this weather?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I came here to escape the snow, but now I guess it's followed me here.
Are you giving anybody pointers that is a local here to how to handle the deal with the snow?
Just have fun, bundle up, and make the most of it.
How long have you been at the boot today?
I just got here like 10 minutes ago. Yeah.
It's been a long day of snow, so of course, where would you end it?
With the boot. I don't know. I mean, anywhere that's outside, you gotta enjoy it. There's only, 2 days in 10 years that we're gonna get snow like this.
Are you from the East Coast?
No, I'm from Minnesota.
So you're used to this. Are you laughing at all the locals here that are losing their absolute minds?
Oh yeah, it's awesome. I mean, I went to Audubon this morning. I got to see some people building snowmen with their kids and stuff. It's awesome. Little taste of home for me.
Is the entire student body of Tulane at the boot right now?
No, but close. I mean, anyone who doesn't have online class at the moment is here.
What does this say about this town that we can have snow, everybody's like snowboarding and skiing and they're running and then they're here having a relaxing drink here? What does it say about this city that, we can't keep them down, huh?
Yeah, we're a community, we're gonna be together through thick and thin, through hot and cold, we're gonna be together. It's awesome.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you. There you have it. This is the best way to end your day if you're a Tulane student, at the boot.
Boy, that would be a kick in the teeth, wouldn't it, if you had online classes today?
That would stink, yeah. And, as Andres pointed out earlier, I mean, it is happy hour, so they've got the right idea.
And they're happy, and it is that hour.
They seem very happy,
It is that
for
hour.
sure.
All right, we've got some videos we want to run through, including an unusual use of an excavator here. Ashley Welch and her 1-year-old Josie in Franklinton enjoyed what somebody here called excavator sledding. That's a little ingenious.
Yeah, that looks fun.
If you don't have elevation, you just, you don't have a change in longitude,
You gotta
or
get
latitude,
creative.
you just,
Well, the New
or
Orleans
altitude, I guess.
Yeah, really. The New Orleans Police Department could not resist having some fun in the snow. Officers were spotted today in a playful snowball fight with residents and tourists in the heart of the French Quarter. Hopefully we have that video to pull it up. There it is to show you. The officers just getting in on a little snowball fight. You could even see a dog joining in on that fight as well. I mean, you can't go anywhere, so what else is there to do, right? You got to enjoy it.
In the quarter earlier, we saw one of those webcams. We're not encouraging this, but there was a snowball fight as a group of young people
Pelting the camera with snowballs.
Noticed the camera and had a good time. As the kids were, you see the kid brought out in a lot of us, including these NOPD officers. I will say this, I saw a lot of police presence as I drove around from the French Quarter over to the City Park area and then back again. Obviously in the tourist areas you find that in general, but a very significant force of law enforcement out there trying to make sure that the roads stay, free of issues.
Trying to keep people off the roads if
Right.
they didn't have to be today. All right, another area we're seeing a ton of snow, Long Beach, Mississippi, and that's where Madeline Adams joins us live. And Madeline, you were working on your snowman making skills earlier. How's it coming so far?
Yeah, good evening, John and Meg. Our snowman, Beachy, he has gained some weight because of all the snow that has accumulated here on Long Beach in Mississippi. We'll show you Beachy again in just a second. I ended up getting him a beanie, so he's a little bit warmer right now. But slow day at the beach here. Not a lot of people out tanning or enjoying the water because right now where I'm standing would typically be the water, and we'd be probably about a foot deep right here, but as you can see, it is covered in snow, pretty icy, just very low levels of water right here. So pretty much, I mean, from the road until, consistent water back there, it's probably about a fourth of a mile. So a lot of snow, a lot of ice just piled on top of the sand right here. We're gonna walk closer toward Beachy over there, closer toward the road. We have seen fewer traffic out on the road later this evening, so that's a good sign. We saw a lot of cars still on the road earlier this afternoon, earlier this morning. That has kind of slowed down. People are heeding the warnings because the road right now is full of snow. And so, again, stay off the road if you can, stay home, enjoy this beautiful snow in your front yard, in your backyard. And you know, we were talking with a couple of the staff members at the hotel that we're staying at, Miss Jalinda and Miss Angela, and they were saying that typically right now, this time of year, in January, South Mississippi, people from up north like to come down south and enjoy the warm weather, enjoy the beach. Right now, typically this time of year, they'd have about half their rooms full. Right now, they only have 8 guests at this hotel. So as you can imagine, a lot of people heard about the snow that was coming to Long Beach, Mississippi, and decided, we'll kind of wait until maybe next week or when it gets a little bit warmer. But it has just been an incredible amount of snow falling over the last couple of hours. And it's not, the snowfall itself is not as heavy as it was earlier in the afternoon. We are seeing the snow kind of die down a bit. It's still snowing, and we're seeing, honestly, we've seen 8 inches of snow in spots, so it's pretty crazy. But here's Beachy. He is as I mentioned, he's gained a little weight here. His shape has kind of lost itself. He's not as round as he was when we first left him, but we got him. John, I know you mentioned he looked like a seagull, so we're sticking with the bird style here. We got him a skeleton Pelicans hat, trying to keep him warm. He also lost his sand eyes there, but that's the Beachy update. We're gonna try to build him back a little bit better, but yeah, the sun is about to go down here at 5:24, so in about 20 minutes we'll see sunset, and that's when it gets really cold, and of course the roads become even more dangerous. So again, do not drive unless it's absolutely necessary. If you do drive, make sure you're driving really slow and heeding all the warnings of course, state personnel and your local officials. Back to you guys in studio.
You need to go find some shells or something.
Under all that snow.
Let that gull see again.
I know, well, you know, it's a little hard to find the seashells. Normally on a typical day here in Long Beach, I'm sure that'd be a little easier to find, but right now the sand is, buried under probably 8 inches of snow right now. I mean, if I can kind of get it with my boots down to the snow, we'll try to show you. I don't even know if I can get to the snow. This is so frozen, but as you can see, that's probably like 4 or 5 inches, and it is higher than that in some spots. So we are seeing a historic amount of snow. I know we've been saying that the last couple of days. Our meteorologists have been predicting this. They were right on. It is a historic amount of snow here in the Gulf Coast. It's pretty incredible to watch. So it's just something that obviously we've never seen in our lifetimes. Our parents have probably never seen in their lifetime. So I hope everyone's enjoying it safely out there.
And Madeline, that's obviously the beach road is a pretty heavily trafficked road on a normal day, so there's some traffic there. Yeah. Has that been your experience as you've driven around? Is that, if you get on a fairly major road, you might be all right where there's been some traffic, but as soon as you go off onto a side street that's had hardly anything, the traffic can get quite treacherous pretty quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I mentioned, we've seen a lot of traffic along. This is West Beach Highway. Right here in front of our hotel and right across from the beach. We've seen a lot of traffic throughout the day. That has died down for right now because we are still seeing a ton of snow on the road, and now it's kind of, as the snowfall kind of weakens and there's less snow actually falling from the sky, now it's just kind of sitting on the road. And so that's when it becomes dangerous, right? And especially at night, once this snow starts to melt, the potential for black ice. So very dangerous. There's been a lot less traffic on this road recently as it starts to get a little bit darker, get closer to sunset. But as you can see, Andre's showing you that road right now. You can still see the tire tracks, right? So that is providing people, I guess, a guide on this road, but still very dangerous. That is not the asphalt of the road that you're seeing that's dark right there. That is still ice. So very dangerous. Still have to drive slow, drive carefully if you are out and about. But yeah, the side streets are just completely covered in ice. There's no real tire tracks or guides on those side streets. So be very, very careful as you're driving down those side streets or anything like that. And of course, even on major roadways and highways.
Well, and the other thing too is, you showed, and it works this way for stairs and it works this way for roads. You showed the stairs that you climb up there from the beach. That's nothing today because it's nice soft snow. After we get down to 10 degrees or maybe 20 degrees, that set of stairs will become treacherous because it'll just be solid ice.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, I mean, I live in an apartment complex in New Orleans, and we got an email before I left saying, of course, be careful as you're walking downstairs, as you're walking down parking garages, as you're using outside amenities, because as the snow piles up and people walk on it, or maybe it melts a little bit, it does kind of create a slippery, icy situation. So even if you're not driving, even if you're just kind of walking around, walking downstairs, walking down the road and, in front of your house, that could be potentially dangerous just because of the ice that's kind of forming under the snow. You could slip, that could be dangerous. So just, again, carefully. This is a once-in-a-lifetime event. We want you to enjoy it, but again, do it carefully, do it safely, to where you're not driving if you don't have to. You can just enjoy it in your front or backyard, but again, still be safe where you're walking. Watch your step, watch for ice that could potentially cause an accident or anything like that.
All right, Madeline, thank you. Live for us tonight in Long Beach, Mississippi. And we cannot stress enough that there's black ice out there, which you cannot see. So it's not like it's, easily detectable. Oh, there's a patch of ice, I shouldn't step there. So you really have to be careful.
And that will mirror what happens, we talked about the stairway on the roadways.
Oh,
you won't be able to see it on the roads when you get down to it'll be a crust of ice, a layer of ice.
Yeah.
That I don't care how many wheel drive you've got, you just can't stop on it. The other thing too is, I'm sure somebody's saying, well, duh, of course those stairs will get treacherous, but what happens to you is and I know this from experience, is you kind of get used to it. You kind of walk around for a day or so in the snow and it's the winter wonderland, and then all of a sudden you hit that same set of stairs and you're flying backwards. So
not good.
Be careful out there.
Well, in Madeline's live shot, we could see that the snow has pretty much stopped there in Long Beach. We saw that a little bit earlier with Rob Masson in Mandeville. So let's see if that's the situation in the Marigny tonight with Chris Welty. How's it looking, Chris?
Hey, Megan, John. We are still getting a few snowflakes here in the Marigny, but the snowfall is beginning to taper off. But a lot of people, they are still out here trying to make their snowmen. We have a really great one over here in the flower pot by the hotel. We're staying at the Hotel Peter and Paul, and it's just really a picturesque scene right here. This is the driveway for the hotel where people stop, drop off their luggage, check in, and then they head to the back to park. And we do have a few law enforcement officers out here that are also staying in the hotel. They are working 12-hour shifts, so they're getting some much needed rest. But once this officer comes back to their NOPD cruiser, it will take a little bit of time to clear all of that snow that packed onto that cruiser. To clear that off, that police unit came here, I guess, between 7 and 8 o'clock this morning. We saw that officer back in, so that officer likely will be back on the clock at 7 o'clock tonight. But I want to show you this other snowman over here. Of course, the employees, everyone's getting creative, using what they can. They put a shower cap on this snowman, and they used straws for the eyes. No nose on this snowman, or smile, or buttons, but I've never seen a snowman with a shower cap on, so that was pretty creative. Now, earlier this afternoon, we saw multiple people also coming to check into the hotel, people that live in this neighborhood that say the heating in their home wasn't sufficient, so they decided to just come check into the hotel, and they are hoping that they'll have a nice warm stay. And one person was being dropped off by a black SUV, and when that SUV was pulling out of the driveway, they actually got stuck. And it's really hard to tell where the driveway truly is and where that drop-off is, but you can just see how much snow is still packed into this area. And earlier this afternoon, we also saw multiple law enforcement and fire trucks passing on Burgundy, and they created those tire tracks, making it a little bit easier to traverse. But with the snowfall still coming down and drifts, those tracks are beginning to be covered. And Whitney, if we take a look down the road, you can see there's people still walking their dogs and actually just getting out. I know people are probably a little stir crazy, but more than likely they will be cooped up in their homes or their neighborhoods for at least another day, maybe 2 more days, as we continue to deal with this. Now, earlier today, we attempted to make a snowman on the hood of our news unit. This is our car parked over here, and with the amount of accumulation you can't even tell really where our snowman truly is, except for by the branch that is sticking out. I attempted to make an arm right there, and somebody put a twig for a nose, but it just looks like one big blob just because of all of this accumulation that is on our car right now. It's just unreal how much snow fell across the city. But one thing that I have noticed as we're getting closer to dinner time, we can smell food in the air. People are cooking, and they are also, some that are out and about, they are hoping that they can find an open restaurant. We know on Elysian Fields there is a bar open that people have been going to since very early this morning to get a drink and hopefully warm up a little bit. But really the only restaurant that's truly open in the area is the hotel restaurant, the Elysian Bar. So the hotel is actually seeing a little bit of a boom of business as people are hoping to get a hot meal tonight. But look, we have a gentleman walking right now. Hey, we're on live TV. What's your name, sir?
My name's Al.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Al, where are you from?
I live over there, but I'm from London originally.
From London?
Yes.
Okay, so what do you think of the snow here in South Louisiana?
It's tiny. I don't know all of the fuss people are making about it. It's hardly even anything on the ground. No, it's amazing. It's amazing. Everyone's having a lot of fun. The kids are off school. Lots of excitement all around.
Did you ever imagine you would see something like this in New Orleans?
No, did you?
No, but I do remember I was probably a freshman in high school. I do remember the Christmas snow of 2004. It wasn't anything like this, but I got excited thinking, oh man, this is great.
Yeah, sort of my youngest, who's 8, has been going on all week about the percentage chance of snow happening, and every morning he kind of gets up and says it's going to be 20%, it's going to be 40%, and I'm like, it's never going to snow in New Orleans. Sure enough, here we are.
Eating those words a little bit.
A little bit, yeah, I do look a little bit foolish.
Well, look, stay warm, stay safe, and thank you so much for chatting with us. Thank you. So, as we can see, there's just people out and about having fun, enjoying themselves, but also occasionally when we do get a gust of wind, the snow that has accumulated along the rooftops, that begins falling, and as you can see, that's probably going to freeze overnight, and it's going to be quite a problem when that does fall down. So people are going to really have to watch walking along roof lines, and occasionally the snow is also the snow that is weighting down branches. Occasionally we see it sort of wave and flap a little bit, just the snow too heavy to sustain on those branches. But really it's just such a sight to see. And we do know that, once again, the city has several warming shelters open for anyone that needs it. And New Orleans EMS, they did tell me earlier this afternoon that if you do need a ride to one of those shelters, they ask that you call 311, and they'll actually bring an ambulance to you, or medics SUV, to be able to get you to one of those warming shelters. Reporting live in the Marigny, Chris Welty, Fox 8 Local First.
Thanks, Chris. Chris Welty with the perspective from the other side of the pond, if you will, a man from London. And now here's the other side of the lake, Lake Pontchartrain. This is the shot of the pier there in Mandeville. So as you're coming off the causeway, you may have noticed, if you're not on the North Shore a lot, that there's a little pier off to your right as you're going toward the North Shore. We, of course, are looking toward the west, and what could be, in about 7 minutes, a pretty glorious sunset, but nice cap to the day either way.
If you just look at that, you would think, oh, beautiful looking sunset, nothing, extraordinary about it. You would have no idea that several inches of snow have fallen today till you look closely, and then you could see on the roofs of some of those, buildings on the pier that there's snow on top of them. And there it is. If you look real closely here, my eyesight's not that great, but you can see some of the snow there.
Well, no, you're right. It's, if you're watching that, we're watching this on a monitor that's a bit away. If you're watching this on a 72-inch TV, that probably,
I think you could probably see it a lot better.
Little snow, what has been, and that's the great thing about this. And look, we've talked about the danger of the roads. We've talked about these ruts that are wonderful to drive through right now, for example, that are going to ice over and become more treacherous.
Yes.
Some of these roads will partially melt probably tomorrow, then refreeze. That's an experience you don't want to have. So that is why, as we look at as we take in this sunset, that's why state officials are saying, enjoy this winter wonderland, but just be aware that there are some dangers lurking if we're not careful.
I mean, Governor Landry specifically said the next 24 to 36 hours, please stay off the roads. He said, I don't want to see anybody on the roadways who doesn't have to be, because state troopers today have already responded to over 50 accidents, and that's before the ice started forming on the roads. So we know that it's going to be a mess after that.
Yes, and excuse me, and that's why from the state's point of view, and we've already had some of the school systems say, look, we're going to use Thursday because class will be closed, the announcement's been made in some places.
Yeah.
We're going to use Thursday to judge where we are. And part of that will be, you know, the pipes and what kind of physical condition are the schools in.
The water system, exactly. Can the water system handle everybody turning on their faucets overnight, and some during the day as well, to run, you know, the stream of water to keep their pipes working? So that'll be interesting to see. But Thursday morning, we'll have a better idea of just how many offices and schools and buildings are closed.
No, so knock on something wooden. The one really good thing that's happened so far, in addition to this kind of winter wonderland, is the idea that we did not have an ice storm first that brought down lots of you know, branches onto power lines and made for just a miserable experience. The governor did say, and they are having a bit of an issue in Lafayette, but the governor did say that he does anticipate there will be more outages. But because this has been a snow event, we have a chance here to avoid the kind of massive power outages. We just haven't experienced that yet, and hopefully that won't happen.
Yeah, that would be best case scenario indeed. All right, let's get down to Houma now and check in with our Chris Joseph to see if the snow is still falling, Chris. And, you know, you've been making some great snowmen throughout the day. Any update for us?
Well, so a few things on that note. The snow has definitely slowed down. As you can see, there's really no precipitation, and the wind has really died down too. Actually, we just got some nice lights. That's fun. So in terms of the snow accumulation, I mean, at least at this point, it's, you know, obviously dwindling. But as for snowmen, I'll match Chris Welty's snowman and raise him a very expertly crafted snowman. I don't know who did this. I'm assuming it's some folks with the Raven Vault company, and honest to goodness, I have no idea how they got these massive snowballs rolled up to this size. But, you know, they put it together very well. You know, we've seen some very good snowmen today, if you've been a loyal Fox 8 viewer. But in terms of size, structural stability, and, you know, snow girth, I think this one certainly takes the cake. But on a more serious note, here in Terrebonne Parish, we have been keeping an eye on the outage map. The good news is we really haven't seen many significant outages. There were rooms available in the Holiday Inn where we're staying. Really haven't seen that be needed at all. But if we look to the left here, you can see that, see all those businesses. Obviously, they're dark, they're closed. In fact, we're actually seeing two folks on the road right now. The sheriff's office is really asking people to not do that if you can, to stay away. Now, deputies, I am told, have gone to a number of crashes, but they've mostly been assisting state troopers in that respect. There have been a handful of pipes bursting in this neck of the woods, but otherwise, thankfully, it's been a rather uneventful day, according to the folks in leadership with the parish I've spoken to, and some of the Facebook posts from the parish government that we've been following. The parish government did ask folks to conserve gas if they can. Sounds like that infrastructure is being maximized, so if possible, I know this is a big ask, obviously, with the snow and the weather, but you know, get it to a point where you're comfortable and maybe don't raise the thermostat any more than you need to. But in terms of the snow accumulation throughout the day, I mean, you can see it here for yourself. You have several good inches, and then, you know, piling up on the cars. And in fact, here's our Fox 8 vehicle, Drew, if we want to swing around here just to give folks some sense of how much snow has accumulated down the bayou. I mean, goodness gracious. Plenty. We'll have to clear this off, obviously, before we go anywhere. But in Houma, a calmer scene, a quieter scene, a snowy wonderland. I'll send it back to you.
Thanks for that, Christian. A snowy wonderland. I like that. On the bayou.
On the bayou.
And an SNEAUX day
exactly.
in NOLA.
Snowmageddon.
Or something like that. We just been taking in kind of these sunsets. We have another shot to show you too of the lake camera, the Landry Lake camera out pointing toward the west at West End as that layer of golden light, and then a few pinks in the clouds there. And then we've been watching this shot also on the north shore, this shot of Lake Pontchartrain from the Mandeville lakefront here. As we're about a minute away from the sunset, we may not see that big ball. It may just not break through those clouds, but the sun's pretty powerful, depending upon the angle, and just kind of an interesting cap on what's been a historic day in so many ways. The state climatologist saying this is a top 2 or 3 snow event in the history of the recorded history of Louisiana. We act sometimes in the media like the weather just started around 1850, but around the time that we started keeping records, at least. With it'll be interesting to see, Meg, the totals too, because there do seem to be some places where they're looking at about 8 inches at least in isolated spots.
Right, and just in the city of New Orleans, our meteorologists were saying they were thinking 6 to 8 inches. I mean, looked like maybe a little bit less where Chris Joseph was just now in Houma, but I mean, it's unbelievable the amount of snow that's fallen. Of course, everybody wants to know, when are the roads going to reopen? We know that snow plows have been deployed across the region. They're trying to get to the roads, but they're going to hit those main arteries first before they get to some smaller streets in the neighborhood. So that's going to take time. They're putting down salt and sand, but as we heard from Colin Arnold, the Homeland Security Director in New Orleans, they were having a little bit of difficulty with that. It wasn't quite as effective as they thought it would be. So it's going to take some time before people can get out of their houses and get back out onto the roadways. For anybody that's looking for information on, I may need to travel for whatever reason, is such and such road open? The governor said there's a resource, 511la.org. That's a website that you can go to that's full of roadway information to let you know, has it been plowed, has it been salted, is it safe to drive? 511la.org.
In some ways, there are a couple of things happening that are transitioning. For one thing, you don't see snow flurries. The snow has largely ended in New Orleans, and maybe a drip here or there. The other thing too is, and this is the serious side of this pretty picture, is that as the sun goes down, the temperatures will start to plummet too. And tonight, Jay Grimes, the state climatologist, says will be the test case for your pipes. If I'm not a plumber, but so obviously, when you get night after night after night, maybe that has a tipping point. But this could be the coldest of the evenings, and this will test, what kind of shape the pipes are in as these temperatures really go down into the low double digits, and the wind chill factor will be in the single digits or less.
Yeah, this is
that
going to
doesn't
be
affect the pipes, but it sure affects how you feel.
Well, exactly, and they said at this press conference with the governor and Jay Grimes, this is going to be the strain on the system to see how exactly the water system handles this, and how the roadways obviously hold up with these freezing temperatures.
Can I get an ooh and an ah there?
Ooh.
There you go. Very good.
Ah, beautiful.
It is quite a sight. You may also, one quick point, you may encounter snow plows, which for the first time we saw snow plows in New Orleans. That's the first time the city believes they've ever been used. And salt spreaders. There was an accident in southwestern Louisiana earlier today involving a salt spreader, something we're not used to seeing on the roads. These are in some cases rather large vehicles, larger than we were showing you in the live shot that Bruce had earlier. And just be aware that they're not going along necessarily at 70 miles an hour. They're not. So there'll be slow-moving large vehicles.
We've talked to a lot of locals today, obviously experiencing snow for the first time. There's also a lot of tourists that are in town thinking they're coming to New Orleans for maybe a warmer vacation if they happen to live up north, for example. But Olivia Vidal spoke to a number of people today, just astounded by what they saw in New Orleans. Right, Olivia?
Hey, Meg and John, that is Professor Vidal to you, because today I'm going to show you some of the fresh powder we're seeing on Canal Street. But to answer your question, yes, lots of travelers who are stuck in town because of the snow that we're experiencing. But look, I brought a trusty ruler, and we're going to see just how much accumulated in this fresh batch of snow right here on Canal Street on the streetcar tracks. Here we go. Here we go. Whoa! 8 inches, according to my calculations, according to my trusty ruler there. 8 inches of snow right here on Canal Street. It's pretty incredible, and you can see the snow has finally stopped falling after nearly 12 hours of snowfall. I've been out here since 6 o'clock this morning. We've just been in the snow all day long, and people are enjoying it. I've got a local artist here, Reggie Ford, joining us. Okay, Reggie, what do you think about the snow in New Orleans today?
I love it. It's beautiful. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's on our architecture. So this is like living art. It's almost like I'm walking through a painting, looking at all this. It's beautiful.
It really is. It feels like you're living on a Christmas card.
Yes. Uh-oh. Whew. My face feel like it's freezing.
Look, we're all freezing. I don't think we're not built for this kind of weather.
No. I didn't realize how fast your hands could freeze in this. But I just can't believe how beautiful this is. It's so white out here. I love it.
It's a totally different look of what New Orleans could be in the wintertime if we experience winter weather like this yearly.
Oh, man. If we could get a little bit of it, not too much, a little bit, I think it'll reset everybody and everybody be in a good mood all the time. And just seeing the palm trees with the snow on it, it's something special about that.
I love that. That was actually really beautiful.
Yeah.
That's my guy.
Oh, yeah.
Reggie, okay, well, you're going to enjoy the rest of the snow while we still have it?
Yes, I'm going to enjoy the last few moments of the sunlight.
Yeah.
And then I know the snow going to turn into ice tomorrow, so I'm taking it all in.
Well, hey, stay warm. And I'm glad you got to enjoy this beautiful snow day in the city of New Orleans.
Oh, me too. Hey, how many inches we had?
8. You see my ruler, my trusty ruler?
Some of our crews out in the city of Atlanta are starting to see ice on the roads right now. What are you seeing in terms of conditions and any injuries to be aware of?
Yes, thank you for allowing me to be on here. I want to make sure I reiterate to the motorists, the residents and visitors of Atlanta to stay off of the roads right now. They are icy because the temperatures, as was just spoken by your meteorologist, the roads are, the temperature outside is below freezing. So as the snow came down, it immediately began to turn into ice, and the temperatures are getting colder as the day and evening goes on. So we want you to stay off the roads. Don't make any unnecessary trips by car. You can take MARTA if you need to, but you need to stay off the roads because now crews are out salting and then plowing so that they can get this ice up, but they need to be able to do their work, and they're starting on priority roads, which are the main roads or roads that lead to our hospitals, et cetera. They need to be able to do their work, and while you're out there crashing into each other, that's going to make it very difficult for emergency vehicles, Georgia DOT and ATL DOT equipment to work. We do see some crashes, as you mentioned. There are car crashes. A lot of them are, at this stage, fender benders. No real, I would say, substantial injuries, according to the reports that I just received. Of course, things could change as the day goes on. But people are just, cars are sliding and folks are not knowing how to manage these hills. Atlanta is very hilly. All over the city are hills, and these back roads with hills and shade, it ends up leading to icy conditions before.
It really does, Mayor Dickens. We're taking a live look here at right by Piedmont Park, 10th Street, and you can see some cars are having a hard time putting on brakes and just kind of sliding. What is the plan? What are the number of trucks that are going to be out there trying to get rid of this ice and plow these roads?
Yeah, the same amount of crews that we had just last week are the same crews that we have this week. Out there plowing the roads and putting salt down. We brined the roads, which should have made it a little bit easier for us now to come plow it. So we just got to get out there and get to it. We have a certain number of vehicles, about 14 trucks that can do that, but we have about 40 pieces of equipment in total to be able to help with these once every 7 or 8 year events. But so far we've gotten 2 in a matter of days. So the crews are out and they are doing what they need to do, and they're going to continue to go. But again, this is just important for us to stay off the roads. I was just out observing, and luckily there are fewer and fewer people on the road.
Good.
But those that are on the road are starting to slide around a little bit as they encounter hills.
It has been quite a January so far, and the month isn't even over yet. Mayor Andre Dickens, thank you so much for sharing the advice.
Can I get one quick update, if you don't mind, about shelters?
Please.
So because it's cold outside, we always continue to open up more and more warming shelters for the unhoused. We have 4 open right now. We normally only operate 3, but because of the snow. So we have James Orange Park. That is half full already. We have Selena Butler, which is for women and children. There's room available there. We have Old Adamsville. There's room available there. Unfortunately, Central Park is already at capacity. So please call 311 if you're experiencing homelessness or know someone that is, and we can arrange for them to be picked up and taken to these shelters. And again, the City of Atlanta, we're closing offices tomorrow, working from home, and APS is closed, and you guys are giving a list of closed schools
we
around
have
the
that
metro.
list
Stay
on
home.
the bottom of our screen. Exactly. Mayor Andre Dickens, thank you so much from the City of Atlanta.
Thank you.
Another live look outside at Atlanta's airport as we're dealing with this winter weather alert. You could see cars a moment ago with the tires just spinning.
Parts of South Georgia not used to extreme cold, gearing up for snow. We wanted to know what this means for our state's biggest industry, agriculture. Why, it's all about timing.
Take your cabinets home today. We can help design your kitchen, finished or unfinished all-wood cabinets. No particle board, no plastic fronts. All with soft closed doors and drawers. Better quality at half the price. Nobody beats our prices.
Yeehaw! Yeehaw! At Builder Surplus, we're shattering the high cost of building products.
Stock cabinets with all the features of custom at half the price. No particle board or plastic fronts. Finished and unfinished, ready to take home today.
All right, so that's 1 pair of glasses. Yep. With prescription lenses, plus anti-reflective lens coating.
Oh.
Scratch-resistant coating.
Did I choose?
UV protection. Award-winning customer service.
That's me.
That's also me. Free returns, free exchanges, and free frame adjustments for life.
And how much more is that?
Oh, it's all included at Warby Parker.
So my glasses
are still just $95.
Oh.
Surprise! I just get excited.
Stay tuned for a special free offer from Flash Force Tactical Flashlight. With its powerful telescopic zoom, the Flash Force Tactical Flashlight gives you a super bright light visible at a distance of over 2,000 meters. With 7 useful modes, plus a USB rechargeable battery, the Flash Force Tactical Flashlight is always ready to light up the night. And if you scan the code on your screen and order right now, we'll send you a second Flash Force Tactical Flashlight absolutely free. Hurry, this is a limited time offer. Scan the code on your screen to order now.
This is Local. Channel 2 Action News. We're always live.
Breaking the big story. Right this second here in Winder, we are working multiple sources trying to figure out.
Here in Alpharetta, we have a new angle you need to hear.
We're talking with people who really know the Swanee neighborhood. What do you want done?
In McDonough, you can only get this perspective from Newsroom 2.
Happening now in Powder Springs as we get word of a developing situation.
It's about you, your neighborhood.
See what's new. Channel 2 Action News, live at 4, 5, and 6.
So one of the things I actually appreciate about Delta Community is those personal loans. The interest rates are so low that we're able to explore options. In fact, we're about to put down our deposit for a cruise. You got your housing, you got some pretty decent food. It's a nice little way to bundle up family time. The kind of products I have with Delta Community include financing for both of my vehicles, the Visa Platinum credit card. Having everything bundled up just makes convenience unreal. It's like a no-brainer.
Tonight, the City of Atlanta has a new tool to monitor water main breaks in these freezing temperatures. And today, Channel 2 Action News got an exclusive look at a new Watershed Command Center.
Channel 2 investigative reporter Ashley Lincoln continues our live Severe Weather Team 2 coverage now in Northwest Atlanta. Ashley, the city's saying it's all about helping with response times.
Yeah, and that's critical when you have a water main break in your neighborhood. The city told us that this response center was birthed after all of those water main breaks we reported on over the summer. They wanted to improve their responses, and they tell us with this command center, it'll help dispatch crews from warehouses like these quicker.
The City of Atlanta watershed employees stock up and head out to be able to quickly repair broken water lines as frigid temps move in. Channel 2 followed crews Tuesday as they repaired lines throughout the city.
This is a representation of the cases that we're currently handling.
We got an exclusive look at the city's new Watershed Command Center.
We brought members of the executive leadership team together to be prepared for this week.
A Readiness Water Commissioner, Al Wiggins, says was birthed after multiple water line breaks from over the summer.
But our strategy is to bring all of the players into the room. That way we can deploy our resources more efficiently. We can get real-time updates on where our crews are. We're monitoring our supply levels.
And the commissioner says what would typically take hours for having a crew to respond to a break now takes minutes by having multiple departments in one room.
This week, our attention has been focused on being prepared for main breaks.
Wiggins says having 7 departments in one room will drastically reduce response time as they monitor more than 4,000 miles of pipe, 1,500 employees, and a fleet of more than 1,000 vehicles.
So we're prepared for a series of water main breaks.
And the commissioner says they anticipate more breaks this week as this weather continues to fluctuate with below freezing temperatures. Now, he also stated after this week is up, they plan to keep that center year-round, 24/7 to monitor and, again, ultimately better improve the response time when it comes to responding to water main breaks here in the city of Atlanta. Reporting live in Northwest Atlanta, Ashley Lincoln, Channel 2 Action News.
Right now, the Gwinnett County Fire Department is telling us how they are ready for a busy night. The steps they took to prepare equipment for fires, busted pipes, and rescues.
Snow continues to fall. Pike, Lamar, Upson, Butts County, Spalding County, and to the south and east. But the impacts continue with our very cold conditions. So we'll show you what you can expect tonight and by morning next.
All right, so that's 1 pair of prescription glasses.
Yep.
Plus anti-reflective lens coating.
Oh.
Scratch-resistant coating.
Did I choose?
UV protection.
And that's included in the...
$95.
Oh.
Welcome to Warby Parker.
Stay tuned for a special free offer from Flash Force Tactical Flashlight. With its powerful telescopic zoom, the Flash Force Tactical Flashlight gives you a super bright light visible at a distance of over 2,000 meters. With 7 useful modes, plus a USB rechargeable battery, the Flash Force Tactical Flashlight is always ready to light up the night. And if you scan the code on your screen and order right now, we'll send you a second Flash Force Tactical Flashlight absolutely free. Hurry, this is a limited time offer. Scan the code on your screen to order now.
This is local. Channel 2 Action News. We're always live.
Breaking the big story. Right the second here in Winder, we are working multiple sources trying to figure out.
Here in Alpharetta, we have a new angle you need to hear.
We're talking with people who really know the Swanee neighborhood. What do you want done? In McDonough, you can only get this perspective from Newsroom 2.
Happening now in Powder Springs as we get word of a developing situation.
It's about you, your neighborhood.
See what's new. Channel 2 Action News. Live at 4, 5, and 6.
So one of the things I actually appreciate about Delta Community is those personal loans. The interest rates are so low that we're able to explore options. In fact, we're about to put down our deposit for a cruise. You got your housing, you got some pretty decent food. It's a nice little way to bundle up family time. The kind of products I have with Delta Community include financing for both of my vehicles, the Visa Platinum credit card. Having everything bundled up just makes convenience unreal. It's like a no-brainer.
To a kid struggling to stay focused in school and never miss practice, a good meal makes all the difference in what kind of tears are shed. Together we can end hunger in Georgia. Donate to the Atlanta Community Food Bank today at acfb.org.
The
future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here. Immerse yourself in stunning video. Feel the power of movie theater quality sound and consistent volume across channels. Get the most out of live coverage with enhanced internet content. Next Gen TV, designed to be upgradable with the advancements of tomorrow. The future of television has arrived. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
On WSB Tonight, it's new.
All right, let's continue our live Severe Weather Team 2 coverage with Severe Weather Chaser 2. Heading north right now, I-85. You can see where the tires have kind of made their way through the icy conditions, making driving a bit better. Let's continue now with Chief Meteorologist Brad Nitz in Severe Weather Center 2, tracking that snow moving out.
The back edge of the snow moving out. We're very cold, so what's on the ground is staying for a while. I want to point out here that meteorologically, this is very similar to the setup we had back in January of 2014 that led to the Snowmageddon. We had good coating of snow across much of the area, very cold conditions, and it coated the roads with ice. The difference this time is GDOT pre-treats roads now. That helps a lot. And schools and businesses canceled ahead of the snow, even though it wasn't snowing this morning as the business day began. That helped a lot. So the bottom line is lessons have been learned and we're benefiting from those now. So that's the good news. The bad news, however, is secondary roads, this pavement temperature in the mid-20s, they're very icy. So if you venture out, you're going to put yourself in a vulnerable situation with dangerous roads. Here's the back edge of the snow across the South Metro. That's going to move out within the next couple of hours. And as it does, we're going to fall down into the teens overnight and into the morning. Coming up at 11 on WSB Tonight, I'll take you through the hour-by-hour forecast when we finally get above freezing again. But take it easy here tonight, overnight, and into tomorrow.
Can't wait for that, Brad. Thank you. Well, tonight, some roads in Gwinnett County are tricky after snow turned to ice.
Channel 2 Gwinnett County Bureau Chief Matt Johnson continues our live Severe Weather Team 2 coverage now. Matt, you're on Pleasant Hill Road. Traffic, it's backed up.
Yeah, in case you're wondering what it looks like out on the roads, there's a lot of brake lights here on Pleasant Hill Road near the Walmart in Duluth. The good news is the cars can't go fast enough to crash on the ice, but the bad news is it took us over an hour just to go a few miles. So you're seeing a lot of that. Gwinnett County Police have reported several road closures across the county after they respond to car crashes. Earlier, we met with firefighters who say they're preparing for a busy week ahead.
We are preparing for a lot of calls.
The snow from earlier this month is still on the minds of Gwinnett County firefighters who are preparing for the next round of winter storms this week.
We ran about just over 600 and something calls.
Firefighters responded to 632 calls the weekend of January 10th as snow and ice created dangerous conditions on the road and at home.
It was a lot of pipes bursting in the houses, medical emergencies, some fires.
Lieutenant Jessica Joyner tells me Tuesdays about making sure the equipment is weatherproof and the rescue gear is in place. She says sometimes rescuing a driver comes down to something you can find at a pet store.
We're getting kitty litter out. We're making sure that everything has tire chains and snow chains.
Firefighters say there were several fires they responded to during the last storm. It's why they're telling people to keep an eye on their space heaters as temperatures hover around freezing and below this week.
Give it a break if it's been running for a long time. Things do wear out after a while.
With roads being treated and with schools out on Tuesday, first responders are ready for rescues, whether they're needed or not.
Hopefully we learned from last time so we won't have to, be out as much as we did last time.
Despite the crashes and closures reported so far today, thankfully no reports yet of any major injuries. Live in Gwinnett County, Matt Johnson, Channel 2 Action News.
Hope it stays that way and that everyone on the roads right now gets home safely. Matt, thank you.
Speaking of, let's get to the latest school closures here. Habersham and Banks County just added to the list. You see the counties in red, they're closed. Orange, those counties are virtual tomorrow. Hall and Madison counties just added to that list. And there are also some districts delayed tomorrow. So go ahead and check WSBTV.com. We update it all the time for the latest school closures.
Severe weather systems, freezes to hurricanes have done major damage in recent years to key Georgia crops like peaches, pecans. Channel 2 consumer investigator Justin Gray is in downtown Atlanta tonight, where he spoke to Georgia's agriculture commissioner about the potential impact of this week's weather.
The time of year is so important when it comes to extreme weather and Georgia crops. Agriculture Commissioner Tyler Harper telling me that time is on our side this year when it comes to this cold weather snap. At least one TV monitor trained at all times on the weather here at the State Agriculture Department's Emergency Command Center. They stood it up to deal with the first ever bird flu case in a commercial flock in Georgia. But now agriculture staff are also on alert at GEMA, ready to respond to the winter weather potentially hitting farms in the southern part of the state not used to severe cold.
There could be some instances where some of our farms in our state could see some significant issues.
Georgia's 2023 peach crop was reduced by as much as 98% after a March freeze followed a warmer than normal winter. Agriculture Commissioner Tyler Harper says extended freezes in January are much less damaging to key Georgia crops like peaches and blueberries.
We should be early enough in the season. There shouldn't be those significant impacts we've seen in the past from freezes where they've significantly damaged our blueberry crop and our peach crop. And a lot of that's because they haven't started setting those early buds. We hadn't quite got to that stage in those particular crops yet.
In fact, too warm a winter can be bad for peaches, but Commissioner Harper tells me a lot of Georgia farmers still recovering from Helene, and the concern is what a lot of ice could do to tree limbs on pecan and peach trees. Reporting at the state capitol, Justin Gray, Channel 2 Action News.
Before we head to break, a check of Wall Street. The Dow gained 538 points today. The Nasdaq closed up 126.
If we weren't proud of the craftsmanship and level of detail that go into every pair of Warby Parker glasses, well, we probably wouldn't show you how they're made, including this part, which is our favorite. Wow. And this is also great. For every pair of glasses or sunglasses sold, a pair of glasses is distributed to someone in need. Try 5 pairs for free at warbyparker.com.
Stay tuned for a special free
Saturday and Saturday night, partly cloudy. Highs in the upper 40s. Lows in the mid-20s. Sunday through Monday night, mostly cloudy with a 40% chance of showers. Highs in the lower 50s. Lows in the mid-30s.
So when I